plus 10 decibels. Hey everyone. Has a weird effect because it's going from this speakers to the microphone. If I turn that up loud enough, it would be a feedback loop. Or feedback. Okay, 7-Eleven, I better start. There we go. How about that? Hello everyone. Thank you Omega, Daniel, and Smedley Do Right. I love that name. And Bueno Die. We knew, but the mass populace had to get the mushroom print in the forehead before they wake. Mushroom print on their forehead? Before they wake up to the bull. The bull isn't? What does that say? They have this emoji thing in front of your comment now. Alright. If I go like this. Oh, they're bullished. Gotcha. Alright. Yeah. Now, what do you mean by mushroom print on the forehead? Explain, and then I'll get back to that. So, folks, let me know how the volume is. If the music is too loud and it's obscuring my voice, let me know. I'll turn it off entirely, or maybe I could turn it down a smidge, I think. So today we're going to talk about... I don't like saying so. That's the of the day. We are seeing Black Lives Matter in the Culture War Encyclopedia. And we are going to cover, perhaps not all of it, because there's a lot. We're going to cover the update the last couple of days. Here's the Infernal Trio. What the hell? That was my voice, I think, maybe. All right, well, apparently the video editing it's a long story. I didn't mean for that to be there, but there you go, it's there. It may happen again. All right. That's from the video. This is the video that I set to the music. And at one point, I narrated what you saw on the screen, sped it up to go with the music so that it's timed just right. And, yeah, it snuck in there. I didn't mute that particular cut of the video there. So, all right, I'm going to check the live stream. How's the... Oh, wow. Okay, let's see. Get mushed. Well, I do like mushrooms. Grant H, good to see you here. Greg J, volume is good, thank you. Music is dope. Oh, well, thank you very much. It's kind of mine. I mean, I gotta say, I did take some of the music from a guy just sitting there messing with his Moog synthesizer, and I messed with that. So, like, the bass note, the actual... I don't have a Moog myself, but it sounds like a Moog because it is. But just not mine. Anyway, Automated Personnel, Unit 3947, I like that. Kind of reminds me of, like, a Zappa song title. P.S. Huck Famas. I don't know what that means. You sounded good. Thank you, Daniel. Grant H means my D head slapped on forehead, leaving a mushroom bruise. Oh. I see.
I get it. Ha!
Lance Corporal.
That's horribly funny.
Yeah. His dick.
Bastard.
I could say dick. His Richard. Lance Corporal Veteran, hello. Thank you very much for being here. Z3471. Hey, Justin. Hello. Z3471. Paige, I'll be back. Hold my beer. Okay. Grant H. GTSY, Justin. Good to see you. All right. Good. Great. Thank you. Good to see you, too. All right, everyone. Let's get into it. I think we should. This I can get rid of. Doink. All right. There's the infernal trio of Black Lives Matter. And what we are seeing here is part of the Culture War Encyclopedia. Let me show you, folks. The Culture War Encyclopedia. By the way, the first link that you will see in the description will be to this right here as soon as it's done. Alright. And this gives us the Culture War Encyclopedia proper. It's like Wikipedia without the BS. It's mostly text, but there's a lot of video and other media. Then we have Culture War Encyclopedia on social media, or on video platforms, Rumble, Odyssey, BitChute, Brighteon, and social media locals, which is not a dating site. It's just Dave Rubin's social media. Then we have this, Just in Trouble, on alternative platforms, my written reports, social media, Tabby's channel on Rumble, and there's some eye candy of the wonderful, beautiful goddess Tabby. She's with us today. Well, I love you, baby. Check this out. We're going to then go to the Culture War Encyclopedia. By the way, you could donate. If you click on Culture War Encyclopedia, you go to the Culture War Encyclopedia proper, and we could go down to, by the way, here's my current political map. I kind of like this, rather than left versus right, or even the quadratic version, the compass version. I like this. Anyway, range alphabetically, alphanumerically. Let's go down to BLM. And Black Lives Matter. There is a lot here, but we, Black Lives Matter is a corrupt organization. Again, there is the infernal trio, Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi. And they're very corrupt. They also support terrorism, both domestic and foreign. And while BLM is a terrorist organization by definition, by the textbook of the dictionary definition of what terrorism is using the threat of force or force to compel people or to force people to meet your political demands. And so there you go. So Antifa falls under that. BLM falls under that. Hamas, Hezbollah, etc. BLM political ideology. They're Marxist. And BLM has a communist agenda. We might go into that tonight, but it might just take too long to go through the update that I added today. So we're going to go into... Well, there's an example of BLM's race. Okay. Update. Okay. Their support of Hamas, and Palestine. But specifically Hamas, and also specifically Palestine. But they're intertwined. Let's face it. And by the way, folks, if you don't know, the Palestine's not considered an official nation, so they don't have what we would consider a constitution, but what they consider to be what we would call a constitution is a certain charter, the Palestinian charter, whatever it is, or that's actually the charter for Hamas. And it does say that they will never make peace with Jews. They're going to keep fighting and killing them until there are no more Jews. So there is no room for compromise from their position, the position of Hamas, just so you know. The other side is willing to compromise to whatever extent they are. I don't know. I'm not saying one side's all good and the other side's all bad, but there you go. Now, let's get into it. Well, let me check the chat real quick before we get to the meat of the matter. Let's see. Collar tie. We got laughed at calling BLM and Antifa the USA's own little ISIS, didn't we? Yeah. And then here they are openly being this way. Right. Good point. I mean, we're going to see at least one example of a leftist going, okay, that's it. I'm out. Going for BLM supporting to like, no, fuck you. And, there is a actual, I saw somewhere on Twitter today, a Jewish BLM, like we're Jews for BLM or whatever kind of group. They showed some video from it from a couple years ago, and we're all anxiously waiting what they have to say about the matter. Okay, so Grant H. I have dark humor. Yeah, you do. One of them has Greg J. One of them has the skid mark of Buddha on their forehead. Oh, ouch. Paulo says hi, Tabby.
Hi.
Tabby says hi. Daniel, Tabby, smile. All right, Daniel. Prince Arcane says 3 dudes. Yeah, I think you talk about those 3 BLM. Yeah. I think they're all lesbian or just some of them. I don't know. Oopala, I miss your IRL trolls in Eugene. In real life trolls in Eugene. Yeah. Yeah, I didn't do enough of that, though, because they weren't very active there. But, yeah, there was that one march for, what was it, just like a Rage Against Trump march that we've trolled everybody in. Mostly you did, Tabby. Tabby just walked around, basically, just making fun of everybody. And then there was that other thing that I went to while Tabby was at work, I think, where maybe she was sleeping, where,
I was at work.
yeah, there was that. Palestine was never actually a sovereign nation ever. Right, yeah. Right. But the thing is, it's like, really, who gets to decide, who's really the authority on what's a nation, what's not a nation, and, it all comes down to who has the force to say so. Really, I guess. But I'm not saying might is right, though. Palestinians are citizens of Gaza, Egypt, and Jordan who didn't leave the land conquered after the 1973 Yom Kippur War. Yeah, I know so little about that, but that much I do know, or at least I think I know. At least that's what I've read. Arcadia Occult Curio Shop says they're not Jews, they're Zionists. Big difference. Now, who's they in this equation here? You mean the people who? You mean the state of Israel and the supporters thereof? I guess. Well, that's the thing, is Zionism has like a few different meanings. There are people who call themselves Zionists who are mostly political, but also worked on the religious aspect of, we need our Zion, our homeland, a thing they believed in. Also in Rastafarianism too, but their Zionism is different. But yeah, then there's Zionism as in like, there's wicked, evil Jews that control everything like puppets. There's the, that's a conspiracy theory Zionism, and blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But anyway, Palestine, yeah, as far as I know about, the homeland there, and it's funny because it's like, as far as I know, the Jews that went back to Israel after World War II are descendants of the people that were there in Palestine, or what we call, but, some of them have so much European blood in them that they look like just white people. And others, they look very much like Palestinians. I mean, there's some comedy is based on the joke of how much they look alike. And, I grew up in a place where a lot of my classmates and peers and coworkers were Jews, and they did range from like, wait, you're not just English, to, but no, I'm Jewish. All right, if you say so, to like, oh, this guy looks like he's Palestinian. But no, I'm Jewish. Okay, sure. Big difference. But it really isn't, genetically speaking. Well, I mean, it's a big tree. These two trees are attached, So there's a big variation. Anyway, I'm lingering. Okay, they, them, says Oopal. Okay. Prince Arcane, IDF motto, quote, by way of deception thou shall wage war, unquote. Is that really, by the way, good to see you here, Prince Arcane. Is that really the IDF motto, or NI, one of their mottos? I don't know. Anyway, let's get into the meat of the matter. So this is, this is the BLM section of the Culture War Encyclopedia. Links below for everything. I highly recommend you subscribe to the Culture War Encyclopedia. I'm going to build it and build it and build it. It's going to be like Wikipedia, but better. And here we go. Update. When war broke out in October of 2023, in Israel, the BLM sided with Hamas/Palestine, see this Instagram from BLM, for example. This is the account BLM Grassroots on Instagram. And they wrote, Black Lives Matter grassroots statement in solidarity with the Palestinian people, they say. As the world is faced with deep questions about self-determination, as we all desire and pray for a world of peace, we must stand unwaveringly on the side of the oppressed. When a people have been subject to decades of apartheid and unimaginable violence, their resistance must not be condemned, but understood as a desperate act of self-defense. I'm going to turn the music down just a little bit. There we go. It's probably better. Black Lives Matter grassroots stands in solidarity with our Palestinian family who are currently resisting 57 years of settler colonialism and apartheid, which is how they see it. As black people continue to fight to end militarism and mass incarceration in our own communities, let us understand the resistance in Palestine as an attempt to tear down the gates of the world's largest open-air prison. As a radical black organization grounded in abolitionist ideals, we see clear parallels between black and Palestinian people. Tabby's laughing her ass off over here now.
We're black.
Well,
Please help. Like, no, you don't get to link yourself to that. Fuck you. You guys were the slave owners.
no, honey, this is the BLM people.
Okay, never mind. I lost
They're
track of where we were.
linking blackness to Palestinians
Either way, dumb.
because of Gaza and etc.
Palestinians, by the way, were Nazis.
Oh yeah,
You really want to link blackness to Nazis?
yep. Palestinians.
Let's not do
yeah,
that, people. Let's not.
right.
It's weird.
Yeah.
It's very tasteless. What the hell?
So panel 4 out of 5 is we too understand what it means to be surveilled, dehumanized, property seized, family separated, our people criminalized and slaughtered with impunity, locked up in droves.
Eat my asshole if you try to stab somebody and they stop you and then lock your fucking dumbass up.
Yeah.
What did you expect should happen when you try to stab someone?
Yep.
When you throw rocks at people's heads? Bricks.
And
No?
when we resist, they call us terrorists. We too dream of a world where our people may live freely on decolonized land. May the borders, checkpoints, prisons, police, and watch lists that terrorize our communities crumble, and may the world we build from their ashes honor those who have fallen in struggle. For lasting peace to come, the entire apartheid system must be dismantled. The war on the Palestinian people must cease. We call on the United States government to immediately stop funding war and redirect the $4 billion in annual spending from the Israeli military to repair the damage caused by U.S.-backed wars, military strikes, coups, and destabilizing interventions against oppressed people around the world. And that's it.
Those kind of people you just want to smack. Like, nope.
Yeah.
Nope. Fuck you.
Okay, so there they are basically saying what the Palestinian people go through, we go through, and etc. And we identify with their side because of colonialism and racism and all that
So
kind of stuff.
You identify with the Palestinian side, most of which are getting locked up for doing things like setting pipe bombs in public, walking past anybody who looks like they're Jewish or Christian and trying to stab them, alright?
Yeah.
Kidnapping and extortion, just generally really bad fucking things. This is usually what they're getting locked up for. You're saying all of that is somehow not justified to lock somebody up for?
Yeah, that is what they're
Fuck
saying.
you! That is more. They should probably kill you for half of the things you fucking assholes actually get locked up for. You should pray to your fucking gods that they continue to be nice enough to pay money to keep you alive in fucking jail. Because you know what? If you go around trying to stab people, kidnapping children to sell them into slavery and other fucking things, which you Palestinians love to fucking do, I don't want want to hear it when somebody fucking gives you a slap on the wrist like locking you up. When really they should have just fucking wasted a bullet on you. You know, you try to stab somebody in public because they look Jewish. How do you not deserve a bullet for that? Or because you look Christian. You know? Or like you're just an easy target pretty much and they want to get some fucking, I don't know, religious credit from their fucking bullshit sky genie. And you're just the target that works because that's part of their fucking religion.
Yeah.
Like, no. I'm sorry, no.
Yeah.
Suck it.
Now, it gets worse. BLM grassroots. Oh, wait. No, that's the same thing. This is their same thing on Twitter. So it's another thing, and I archive these things. Now, it's weird. I don't know why, but for some reason, Substack, which is what we're looking at, it's the platform I use to do these written things, it doesn't agree with Twitter. And so when you try to embed a tweet, it used to work. Now you have to take a screenshot of the tweet. But if you click on it, it actually goes right to the tweet. So it's basically the picture is a link. It's a hypertext picture. Now, check this out. This kind of encapsulates the sort of person that would support BLM and the sort of Palestinian Hamas supporter.
Yeah, what they actually feel.
Right. So, you get people in New York and other places, for example, in America,
Too goddamn stupid
with the gay rainbow flag supporting Palestinians and Antifa supporting the Hamas and etc. Meanwhile, yeah, and what's it? The porn star one, Mia Khalifa. Well, definitely Khalifa. Mia or Mila Khalifa, or Maya or whatever. Supporting the actions of Hamas specifically, right? Mm-hmm. And she's a porn star. And what do you think would happen to you if you went to Palestine or the Gaza Strip? Anyway. Pretty silly stuff. So I had to include that here. I don't know the artist, and that they signed their name in such a weird way that I have no clue. But that's a great picture, though.
Speaks volumes.
Yeah. BLM Chicago posted this in support of the baby killing, civilian raping, civilian murdering Hamas. Here you see it. BLM Chicago at BLM Chai. That is all. That is it. In their semi-literate English there.
Semi-literate, yeah, that's being generous.
Yeah, it's being generous. I stand with Palestine. Now you see there the hang glider, the paratrooper or parachuter. All right, with the Palestinian flag, and this specifically is a reference to something, if you don't know, folks, that happened a few days ago. Bunch of Hamas members hang glided into various places. One was into a rave that was going on, and they killed and kidnapped civilians, raped them, etc. And so this is not a Palestinian thing, unless you want to conflate Palestine with Hamas. But this is specifically in support of those specific terrorist actions upon unarmed, peaceful civilians.
Yeah.
Oh, I better stop that. Now that music gets a little bit too intense for the background, even if I turned it down to minimum. All right. So, and it's interesting because when they posted this, they got the community notes thing slapped on there, which reads, "There is important context that viewers may not know. The Palestinian terrorist group, Hamas, used armed gunmen on paragliders to enter a rave in Israel to kill over 260 innocent people partying at the rave. They mean known for paragliding." So, in other words, this is specifically, like I say, specifically about that terrorist action. Recent one. BLM Chicago later deleted that tweet, but not before the damage was done and not before it was archived. So this one should go to an archive right here. Okay, no, that's I linked it to show you that they deleted it, and I'll show you that for a second, folks. But here, let me show you archive version. I try my best to archive everything. You can archive videos. You can archive tweets that have embedded videos, but they won't play the videos. But here it is. This is archive, which means that this is the real deal. And I cropped out the video, but if you look up above, or if you were to see up above where it's been cropped out, there will be the archived URL. But here it is. There you go. Right there. And they obviously know that they're guilty of something, so it says, this page doesn't exist anymore. Yeah. So, yeah. Damage already done, though.
Yep, fuck you guys.
Yep, fuck you forever, BLM. Not that we ever were in support of you, but there you go. There are people who have switched over. Let's see if I have an example of that. Yeah, okay, well, okay, before we show you that, this is interesting. Dave Rubin. He is responding. Was that the same one? Okay.
Sorry, stretching.
You could see here that the same account, BLM Chicago, they tweeted, yesterday we sent out messages that we aren't proud of. We stand with Palestine and the people who will do what they must to live free.
We're not
So it's not really an apology, is that?
No, it's a double down. It's like,
our hearts are with the grieving mothers, those rescuing babies from rubble who are in danger of being wiped out completely. Palestinian flag, and then hearts in the Palestinian flag colors.
They're basically excusing their actions with guilt complex. They're trying to go, we know we did the bad thing. Okay, we're sorry about the bad thing. Here's why we did the bad thing. We stand with the mothers and the people and all of this, and think of the bombs and the starving babies with distended abdomens and other blah, 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 blah. Think of everything other than the truth of what our actual message was, that we were cool with people parachuting in to fuck with people at a rave to the point of kidnapping, murder, and rape. Yeah, that was what we're cool with. That's what we're still cool with, but that's okay. Hopefully you're all too stupid to catch that.
Yep.
Yeah, like, fuck you guys. Fuck you.
Yep.
Rude. I'm not fucking even Jewish. I just think you guys are rude. I don't particularly find Israel that interesting. It's just a big sandy place to me. But you all are fucking rude over there. Damn.
Yeah, so Dave Rubin, who is Jewish, ethnically, I guess you would say, or at least culturally, not really religiously. Well, okay, let me be fair. I'm pretty sure he's just flat out atheist, but considers himself Jewish in the ethnic sense, so that's cultural and genetic, okay? He responds to that tweet with, "Fuck off, you communist cunts."
Thank you.
Though you almost got one thing right, the Israelis will do what they must to live free. Well, see, I'm not down with that. Seems to be saying by any means necessary. I don't know. Maybe I'm reading too much into what Dave Rubin is saying, but I'm certainly not one of those people who are like, oh, they got to bomb the places where the kids are, where they have no choice. No, they do have a choice.
You can be a little bit more careful.
There's a lot of different things. I mean, look, I'm not an expert. I don't know, but I do think that you don't have just a binary choice of either bombing those places that have human shields or not bombing those places that have human shields. You certainly have more options than just those two. But well, anyway, go ahead, Ted.
There are other options, but when all options are exhausted in an act of war scenario, sometimes you have to hit the civilians. I'm sorry to say. But that's why it often happens, because a lazy fucking commander will make you go in and hit that easy target first off.
Yeah.
They won't even think about other options.
Well, here's just
a good one thinks about the other options and results to that as the very last option to solve the overall problem. Like if hitting these civilians literally stops it by cutting the head from the snake.
Yeah. You
can't really fault a fucking leader from cutting the head off of a giant fucking snake that's not only murdering people there, but probably people other places as well. It's like, fuck, I'm gonna hate myself, but You know,
now,
like
how about this?
It's a hard one.
How about this? Now, I know that a lot of different nations and whatever people get very, very upset about the following, but I think maybe this would be a more humane thing to do. Gaza's not very big.
No, it's not.
What if they did a complete sweep in a grid and just removed all weapons? You know, missile. I mean, they got, giant missile launchers being launched from Palestine into Israel. You're gonna be able to find them if you look, right? Now they may be a violation of I don't know, UN resolutions or whatever to do that, but I think it's better than firing back at missile launchers and hitting human targets, which is what happens.
Could try controlled demo of each building. Under guard.
There's all sorts of things you could do before you start bombing human targets. But anyway, I don't want to get too bogged down. There's a lot of ground to cover here, though.
Yeah, exhaust all
I'm going to check the live chat before I cover more ground, though, really fast.
It's a lazy one that just does that first off, then try anything else. Other things first, please.
Yeah. Lancer. Good to see you here, Lancer. Good to see you, Shrapnel. Shrapnel says that's right, Tabby.
Yeah, it's like, don't be fucking lazy about it.
Yeah. Oh, there's so many comments. I wish I could go through it all. Well, all right, maybe, shoot. Well, all right, I should cover the ground first, and then I'll go back to. But thank you, everyone, for being so active in the chat. That's awesome.
Hi, guys.
Let's go on, though. Witness this now. This is a good account on Twitter, End Wokeness. They are giving a screenshot of this from, compare these. First, let's look at the one from, let's look at the top one. From 2021, Dave Weissman tweets, "I will never stop saying Black Lives Matter and may even get a shirt myself." Okay.
You're such a little bitch.
Yesterday, the same guy tweeted, "Fuck them. Maybe the right was right about Black Lives Matter."
Oh, did you just figure something out? Oh, poor baby. He just figured it out with his derpy ass face.
Yeah.
Fuck you, dude.
And he's wearing a Biden shirt.
Oh,
Blue check mark, David Weissman, Israel, Star David, and a Biden shirt. That's funny. Yeah, they don't like you. They don't like you. You're Jewish. They're not gonna like you. Black Lives Matter is.
You're fucking very, 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 very white.
Black Lives Matter is racist.
Yes, it's black.
And they're going to be racist not just against white people, but also Jews.
Yeah.
And
much
others.
Anybody who their group sees as having an upper leg any way possible.
Yeah.
They don't like Asians. They don't like Jews. They don't like fucking white people of any kind at all. It's black supremacy. It's no different than the KKK and neo-Nazism and, any kind of puritanical bullshit.
Yeah.
They're all the same kind of stupid. They just got different faces.
Post-millennial reported on this. Who did this? Libby Evans, I hope. Oh, Hannah Nightingale. You guys know who that is. Black Lives Matter grassroots issues pro-Hamas statement declaring parallels between black and Palestinian people. Now, I think we've covered pretty much everything in this article, I think. I'm pretty sure, so I'm not going to go into that. But that is there for you to check out. And it's all right here, I think. Or at least some of it. As James Woods, Tabby likes James Woods.
I do.
As James Woods points out,
I have a girl crush on the Woods.
The Woods.
I do. It's weird.
Do you have weird. Tabby? Wait, do you have Ladywood for James Woods?
I do. It's his mouth and his attitude. God damn it! I'm a mouth, ass, and attitude kind of chick, and he's got mouth and attitude.
Word.
Well, his butt's not that bad either, but
Okay. But anyway, it's interesting. He tweeted this or X'd this today, this morning. It's what is that one? Patrisse Cullors, I think, is that one right there. I'm not sure, but anyway, one of the three Infernal 3 right there. You know what? Let's go to the tweet itself because there's video. Again, you used to be able to just click on play right here in Substack. And it would play, but there's some sort of bad blood between X. Anyway, we're going to need the volume for this one.
basis.
That's a little bit too loud. Hold on. All right. Well, James Woods. Should we read? Well, first, let's read what James Woods says. He says, BLM founder Patrisse Cullors, there you go, in 2015, calling for the eradication of Israel. Quote, Palestine is our generation South Africa. Well, she'll say it herself.
The other thing I'll say is Palestine is our generation South Africa. And if we don't step up boldly and courageously to end the imperialist project that's called Israel, we're doomed. And I think that I had learned about Palestine for a long time.
So she wants to end end Israel. Go ahead, Tabby.
Have you ever seen some of those white supremacists up in the mountains, you know, the I fucked my sister type? How they have this kind of like 1,000-mile stare of stupid where their eyes are almost partially crossed when they're fucking giving interviews and shit. Tell me she doesn't have those eyes. Eyes are fucking 1,000 miles away because I don't know where my brain is right now. Look. Like, that's how fucking racist, manipulative, and stupid she is. She's just kind of like, I'm saying this thing that's in my head, but I don't know somebody else. They asked them to because they don't have the capacity for this. Like, yeah, there is just something so rehearsed because her eyes right now are screaming. I'm just saying that's how dumb her eyes are coming across. Just like
I don't know if the three
oblivious to reality.
I don't know if the three are still a unit or do they have a falling out or whatever. But it may be that one is doing the thinking and the other is doing the talking.
It could be because.
But there was at least three of them. But anyway, let's check this out.
The other thing I'll say is Palestine is our generation South Africa, and if we don't step up boldly and courageously to end the imperialist project that's called Israel, we're doomed. And I think that I had learned about Palestine for a long time. I had known about it, been wanting to travel, and I was really, really grateful when the Dream Defenders asked me to come on the delegation. But nothing would have prepared me for the level of militarization and the level of violence that we would witness those 10 days inside of Palestine. Nothing would have prepared me for the ways in which we witness people's terror. People live in terror on a daily basis. And nothing would have prepared me for how much clarity I would have on why we have to be a part of Palestinian solidarity.
Oh my God.
All right, go ahead,
Eat
Deb.
my asshole, you fucking bitch. Oh my God, there's just so much terror. People live in terror. Yeah, because they're guilty of fucking helping somebody bomb some shit today. I'd live in terror too if I fucking knew that the neighbor that I helped mow the lawn of, if we ever had grass out here, was a fucking terrorist and I didn't tell anyone because technically I fucking helped them bomb some shit, didn't I? You know, like, God, of course people are in terror. Besides, when they're bombing shit, a lot of times they're bombing their own shit because they're fucking dumbasses who can't figure out a wick.
They have bombed themselves a lot.
They just bomb themselves half the time. I'd be terrified of my neighbors. Is my neighbor some Hamas-loving asshole who's going to bomb me through the fucking wall because he's trying to make something he is really not skilled enough to make? You know? That happens there. Like, yeah. Let's talk about those instances of terror. How about the instances of terror of all the Jewish, Christian, and non-technically religious people who live in Israel that you guys are always fucking bombing? How about that terror? Don't give a shit about that, do you? How about all the people at the fucking concert just sitting there fucking listening to music, not fucking being assholes today? Does their terror not count? That's not registering enough as terror for you? How about the chicks that got raped for the next few days after that? Because you know it's still happening, right? If the chick hasn't been returned yet or found dead. Just to shed a little bit more reality on that whole taking fucking women from the concert fucking angle there.
Yeah.
It's not like they keep them as pets.
They actually have a horrible little poster of, like I say, a dozen of, say, the prettier captives.
Yeah.
Just like their faces in photographs, just sort of arranged like, hey, this is who we have hostage, everybody.
Yeah. Prizes.
Yeah. Now let's check out the.
Disgusting assholes.
All right.
You should feel bad for them. No, I do not.
Shrapnel says James Woods is awesome. So does Daniel Kier.
He is, isn't he?
You beat me to it, says Daniel. Automated Personnel Unit 3947. She's as sharp as a spoon. Now, who's that in reference to? Is that reference to Tabby? I'm gonna have to go up.
Yeah.
Let me go up. Let's see. Where was the last comment I read about? With a mountain, a green mountain with a throne at the top, where Jah Rastafari Haile Selassie sits on top of the throne, man. Ever living, ever living. Jah Rastafari. Yeah, because anytime you can change a word to put I in there instead of whatever's there, you do that. Yeah, I and I, man.
That's an old one.
I and I.
I know that one.
We shall come together, man, in Zion. Automated Personnel Units 3947. I don't get my history from Marxists and gangbangers. Or before that, BLMers getting desperate. And I don't get my history from Marxists and gangbangers. Lancer 737. Good to see you once again. That reminds me, Justin Trouble, that reminds me, in the Navy Reddit, they are posting pictures of Hamas gear. Some of the gear supposedly had ISIS flags in it. Could be a gay op, though. Well, I've seen things on Twitter. I don't know. I haven't fact checked them, but some of the arms apparently that Hamas have been using were the arms that were provided to Iran from the Biden administration. No surprise there. That's what we've come to expect for decades. I mean, it's kind of been the pattern ever since I can remember.
That's always what happens.
Yeah.
Like, we have, if it's money or guns and they're meant for somewhere else and they don't have them, fully secured during transport and shit, you can guarantee that shit's gonna go missing.
Yeah.
And it's going to end up in the enemy hands because that's who it was actually intended for. And they're playing fucking sneaky goddamn politics. And they should all be taken out and possibly shot for doing it. Because fuck you. You also get people killed when you do that.
Prince Arcane. Don't laugh. U.S. government was concerned during the Nixon and Carter administrations. We're concerned about black support for the Middle East folks, quote-unquote Middle East folks, saying there was a relationship. Yeah, and also you got the Nation of Islam, which is a black American thing, but they try to say that it's whatever you want to call it. They say that they're Islamic. Other branches of Islam say no, they're not. One of those things. Prince Arcane. Okay, I already read that. Collar tie. Most of which, so 1 million and one of them stabbed innocent people. I don't know what that's in reference to. All right, Shrapnel, that's right, Tabby. Lancer 737, Justin Trouble. When my fam and I was watching and recording the riots at the end of Obama's presidency, there were BLM rioters waving the ISIS flag. Yeah, I mean, that video that we just watched, that's going back to 2015. And her support there of Palestine. And that was one of the three main BLM people. Yeah. So there you go. It's top level support.
That's what they do.
So
they feign stupidity. We didn't know.
Yeah.
Like Hillary Clinton's fucking mentor literally used the excuse, I didn't know, when he became a leader in the KKK.
Yeah.
His excuse was, I had no idea it was an anti-black hate group.
Yeah.
How the fuck do you make your way up the ranks and not know that?
That's absurd.
Exactly, but they love to do that. Politicians love that card. They throw out, I'm just a dumbass. Yes, you are, and you should probably go drown yourself in the nearest fucking river. What the hell is wrong with you? And you're gonna feign stupidity on top of it like that helps. That does not help the scenario. It makes me wonder how you made it this far and how society should change so that doesn't happen again. Dear Lord. Oh my God.
Shrapnel says Palestine has tried to give many gay people flying lessons. However, humans
That's their
don't
favorite
fly.
thing. No, they should probably learn that humans are not aerodynamically sound.
We used to have a video that showed photos of the process of them throwing people who are accused of being gay off
I used
rooftops.
to put it on Facebook all the time during Gay Pride to really
Yeah.
piss people off because they hate being reminded that a couple of the people that they hang out with during Pride are most assuredly would look the other way if somebody gave them a free flight lesson.
Yep. Lance is 737. Sorry, babe.
Then I would make jokes about them, teaching fairies how to fly. But that was just my sense of humor. It's really sick, so hate me if you want. I'm still gonna chuckle at it.
Well, fairies wear boots, and you gotta believe me.
I'm sorry, I find that offensive humor often makes people fucking so angry that they even question their anger. So I'm an offensive bitch.
Yeah.
That's just how I am.
Yeah, fairies wear boots, and you gotta believe me. I said I saw it, I tell you no lies. That's not how the lyrics go. Well, right now. All right. Anybody know what I was just singing? Give me a shout out to Black Sabbath. The Black Sabbath sound, by the way, people don't realize a lot of that was really the bass player. And the guitar player was kind of playing off of that. And so was everybody else. But I'm going to say that right now.
Can you freaking believe Ozzy has Neanderthal DNA? Like, that's the only reason he didn't die is because for some fucking miracle of genetics, he has enough Neanderthal DNA for it to basically take in the alcohol and fucking drug concoction and turned it into fucking sugars. So, in short, the dumbass should have died 1,000 times over from overdosing, but his body just kept turning it into sugar. Like, what the hell, man? It would explain his face, though.
Yeah.
Because he got that very, like, thick skull. Like, if he wanted to put his head through a wall, I'd be worried about the wall. To be totally fair when it came to Ozzy. Yeah. I'm not even going to blink about his skull, because I know it's going to make it. Might also explain why he got bullied relentlessly as a child. He might smell just a little different. Just by scent, yeah. Yeah, his scent might be a little off because of that.
Right. Hey man, I saw Black Sabbath original lineup playing late 90s. Jones Beach Theater. And for most of the show, Ozzy just kept doing this weird crouch down, touch his hands to the stage, and then leap up like a frog kind of jump. Yeah, where he jumped up and then lifted his knees up to his chest and landed down. Now, I've seen dozens and dozens of videos of him live. I've never seen him do that. But when I went to see him, it was almost like something somebody might do if they're on way too much of a upper and they have to work out some energy. Yeah. And wow. And this was an old dude just doing this over and over the whole show. Like whenever he wasn't singing, he was doing that. It's weird. It was really weird. I wonder what was up with that, but it was a great show.
Yeah. Ozzy's a wild kind of dude.
Yeah. Lance 737. Justice Trouble makes me sad that the FBI wanted people to send recordings of interests to them. My fam sent so much. The FBI wanted people to send recordings of interests to them? What are we talking about here? I feel like I'm very out of the loop on something. My family sent so much, but knowing what we know now, I feel like they did it just to cover for them. Okay. So just like, hi, we like chickens and turtles. And
Nazi, please,
the New York Giants and sports balls.
Wow.
And we watch Seinfeld and Friends.
Democrats for you. They turn everything into Nazi fucking Germany.
I didn't know. Was this something that the FBI did a while back or something?
I don't know. I'm out of the loop on that.
Shrapnel says, get strapped or get clapped. Automated personnel units 3947 says, saying Hamas is in Palestine is like saying cartels are in Mexican. Yeah, I think that's being unfair to the Mexican government. But I mean, they very much
with the cartels, baby.
Right, so they very much overlap, but at least the Mexican government would only let so much happen, whereas Hamas pretty much, there's no pretending that Hamas is, we're against what the Hamas is doing, from the Palestinian officials or whatever.
Yeah.
It's pretty much the one and the same. Yeah.
Yeah, it is pretty much
At least in the case of the Mexican government, there's a facade.
Yeah, they pretend. And to an extent, there are areas that are kept safe. But
Yeah.
it's negotiated between the cartels and the government for those areas.
Now this is
The rest of
important.
It's just fucking war zone, pretty much.
Here's something important. Z3471. I hate it when people say theirs is not a violent religion.
Yeah,
And that's fair to say, because you hear that over and over again. You get idiots like Ben Affleck saying that on television, and people clapping, and then people like, I mean, we even had a close friend of mine, roommate, etc. It was one of those people who, even when you said, okay, well, here's the facts of the matter, they just didn't want to look at it, see it, or whatever. What? Even so much as going, okay, yes, it is written, that is written in the Quran, but I still think it's motivated by xenophoby, you know.
Yeah.
Go ahead, Daddy.
They kind of all turn into that scene from Body Snatchers where they point and they go,
Yeah,
and at the top of their lungs they
Yeah.
That's pretty much the response you get.
Right.
Every
So,
time.
I mean, it was, yeah, it was something me and that girl would fight about sometimes, and just, you know, I'm gonna stick firm with this. And in fact, earlier on, my channel was more motivated by this Z3471, the fact that there are, the Quran does say, Surah 9:5, for example. Go to, I don't know, Surah 9, it's like a chapter, in verse 5, it says, fight in the way of Allah until over the whole of the world religion is only for Allah. Okay, fight for Allah. Basically, I'm going to paraphrase it. Fight for Islam until it is the only religion over the whole world. Meaning, you can't leave any infidels alive. Meaning, either convert or kill everyone.
Yep.
And there are going to be people who are not going to convert. So there you
go.
go.
That would mean kill me, which I'm sure there's a lot of people that have chanted that in their sleep, kill that bitch. But, yeah, fuck your religion if you're openly saying that at Mass, because I don't have to be nice to you.
Yeah.
I don't. If your religion says that, I don't have to be nice to you. I don't fucking care. I don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's
So
just
that's probably
my choice.
There's a few things we could just sort of touch on. There's a lot. Oh man, I wish I could just. Then you have a body of literature called the Hadith, which are considered very important, but not as important as the Quran, and it's sort of like Catholic doctrine.
Yeah, there's.
So it's secondary, and there's right. I'm sorry. Go ahead and say that again.
Well, there's always the dispute.
Yeah.
Why do you think the Middle East is always fighting with itself?
Right.
It's because of the surahs. You have one side that it's like,
No,
it's
hadiths,
this way. Sorry, the hadiths.
Yeah.
It's one side's like, no, it's translated to mean this. And the other side's like, no, it's translated to mean this. And then you've got the incest fucking angle, where whoever's got the fucking blood of the ancestors from the old times, it's a whole thing.
Yeah.
And they'll even fight. It's all about blood and interpretation, and it's so dumb. And if they would stop inbreeding, they would lose the unibrow and they would become smarter. This is ridiculous. They literally do it for bloodline.
Yeah, I know.
Something about Muhammad's bloodline or some fucking bullshit fuckery.
Right,
It's like,
yeah,
just fucking admit you wanted to screw your own sister. Stop making up a lie as to why it's okay. You're nasty and you wanted to put it to your sister. That's what this is.
Yeah.
Okay? Stop fucking killing the women in the Middle East and there'll be more choices. You know?
Oh. Keep talking and get
Oh my god. I'm sorry, people. That's just, the Middle East sometimes it gets to me. Like, what the fuck? He's letting the dogs in right now. Hi, Lumpy.
Okay. So, then in the hadiths you have, and like Tabby says, they don't all agree on the hadiths. And you know, the major splits in Islam is over the lineage. Does is the successor of Muhammad his son-in-law, or should it be his uncle?
Yeah.
And then you got splits over doctrines and all that. But anyway, you got the hadiths, which are secondary holy scripts. And unfortunately, in the hadiths, it does say that Muhammad, not only did he have multiple wives, but he not only, well, let's say this, he beheaded people personally. Like, he actually beheaded people. And, you know, it's not like, you know, oh, Mao Zedong had so many people killed, you know, in other words, he commanded people to, you know, Muhammad literally beheaded people with his own sword in his own hands. And, of course, he had people killed, too, by his own command. He also had multiple wives, and at least one of them was a child bride, because it talks about, and they go by moons, not by years, sons, but a little girl, young enough so that she still play with dolls, which means that she has to be pre-pubescent, was sexually molested by their prophet.
I love how that fucking religion overlooks his pedophilia.
Yeah.
Right? And instead they glorify it by going, oh, when he married her, he was like the most loving of fathers. He's her husband.
Right.
How dare you equate those two things together in any fucking fashion? That's disgusting. A husband and a father are not the same thing, and they should not seem like the same thing. And if they do, your relationship may have some fucked up shit going on.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Now, some of them,
is wrong.
I've argued with hundreds of Muslims about this in the comment section of my earlier videos, and a lot of them say, oh, well, you know, he just basically, like, he adopted her, and then once she became sexually mature, then she was acted like a wife and blah, blah, blah. But no, according to the hadiths, he did sexually do stuff to her. I don't want to get too gross, but not anything that could impregnate her before he married her, while she was still playing with dolls. Then he marries her. She's still playing with dolls, which, and according to their custom, which means that she's not into puberty yet. Hold on.
You can't do that right now.
All right.
On, you can scratch that.
And so there's that. And so then he's sexually active with her before she goes through puberty, according to these hadiths. Now they can argue, oh, you know, I don't believe in those hadiths and whatever. Hey, man, you guys fight it out amongst yourselves. That's part of your religion.
Yeah, it says it in your religion, not mine, yours. So fucking deal with your shit.
Right.
Don't point the finger at somebody else's crap. No. Yours first.
So we have the we can overlook the pedo thing, you know, unless they want to fight it out and be like, you know, we don't believe in that, we totally denounce it, because that's the thing, they won't just denounce it.
Nope. Because they know it's fucking true, so they
right.
They fucking,
and I know this from
around the subject by fucking saying, well, there's a dispute about her actual age, that 9 years old actually meant 19. If you do this weird fucking Obama-style goddamn Middle Eastern math.
Creative
it's like,
math.
no, fuck you and your creative fucking math fucking shit.
Yeah.
She was a child. You know she was a child. That's why the whole fucking dolls thing is even fucking mentioned there.
Yeah.
To specifically don't basically dictate that this is in fact a fucking child, not a 19-year-old. And if there is a 19-year-old playing with Barbie dolls, maybe she shouldn't be marrying an old guy in a beard, seeing as how some fucking 19-year-old still playing with Barbie dolls may not have all her mental faculties about her. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So maybe we leave that one alone too. There's no way you can make this scenario not look disgusting.
There's a part of the hadith which is, it's, at least it claims to be dictated by, what's her name? The young one that we're talking about, the youngest wife. Aisha.
There it is.
And she is describing how she's playing with her friend, I think somewhere outside, and her husband comes around, and her friend hides.
I would too.
Her husband comes around and her friend's hiding, and he's like, hey, don't worry about it, come out and play. Sit on my lap, little girl.
Yeah, he's like, maybe I'll take you for my fifth wife.
Right. Anyway.
So oh my god, he's like the creepy guy on the bench at the park that should like just fucking be run over by a truck. That is who this guy is. And they fucking say that he is the embodiment of the best of what men should be. And that's why the Middle East sucks, because this is what the men model themselves after. A fucking asshole who is no different than the pervert sitting on the bench watching the kids play while he has his hand in his pocket in a weird way.
Yeah.
That's who he is. That's disgusting.
Now I have the song Aqualung in my mind. No, okay, point number 1 is the irreducible or the inexcusable pedophilia thing. Number 2 is the irreducible violence. There's we're going to fight and kill all non-Muslims. And then you also have the Taqiyya. Now, this is another thing that's not in the Quran. The violence is.
Yeah.
The pedophilia is in the Hadith, and the Taqiyya is in the Hadith. But Taqiyya basically says that you can lie and deceive to the enemy in furtherance of Islam. You could pretend, and so you guys know the whole assassins or the Hashishans. It's not a sin. They're not breaking the commandment to not lie, because this is an exception they've made for themselves to pretend to be Christian, to go through Christian rituals just so they could get themselves in the right positions in the right courts of the right people, so that they can either assassinate them or at least warn them to stop their whatever military campaign or whatever it may be. So that's the Taqiyya. And so when they say, oh no, we don't believe in killing people, blah blah blah, they could be considered very holy and lying to you, and it's not a sin for them.
Yep. In fact, they get points.
Oh yeah, because you're furthering Islam.
Yep. In fact, their mosque isn't even a fucking church. It does have a place of worship within it, but they're actually designed for military purposes.
Yeah.
And they always have been. That's why there's an outer wall that is doubled, and there's an inner keep, which is its own building most of the time, unless they couldn't afford to do the full fucking, razzmatazz. In which case, they're just using a fucking building somewhere. But if it's one they built it in the old battle style, because that is exactly what it is. It is a fucking city unto itself where they train people to fucking kill other people in the name of their gods.
A bastion, a bastille.
It's stupid. It's what that shit is, and when you let them erect one of those big fucking eyesores, that's exactly what they've done. They've basically put a fucking cavalry camp right in the middle of your fucking city, and they've got weapons for damn sure. And they are teaching people how to fight for damn sure, because that's what they've been doing in those buildings since the first day they made one. It's what it's for. It's not a church, people. These people have portable churches. It's called a rug. And north or east. It's east.
Well, it depends on your
where you are. You gotta face that
planet.
big weird thing they like to kiss.
Yeah.
As long as you're facing that, then you're facing correct. So you don't even need a building. The building is not about their religion. The building is about military. It is a building of war. Yeah. It's a fucking fort.
But here we are talking forever on this one comment. There's so many other comments to go. But yes, Z3471, good comment, good point. It is one that is not made often enough. And there are people out there who get so mad when you point this out. But those are the people who are either they're Islamic and they're defending it and practicing the Taqiyya and lying about it, or the people don't know what the fuck they're talking about, and it's just basically like, well, I'm against my daddy who was right wing and Christian, so therefore I gotta support Islam.
I'm gonna stand against what you're saying because I have daddy issues.
Right.
Well, your daddy issues get people killed. I hope you fucking know that. You fucking bitch boy.
Yep. So let's move on, though. Prince Arcane, read book by former IDF member Viktor Ostrovsky called By Way of Deception. Okay, it sounds good. By Way of Deception. By Way of Deception by Viktor Ostrovsky, former IDF member. Okay. Automated Personnel Units, 3947, Shrapnel Wedding Flights. Yeah. Shrapnel. You're not wrong. Automated Personnel Unit 3947. No PS. Hamas. No bueno. Yeah, they are not good. Lance 737. Just in trouble. I'll be right back. If you ask me a question about anything I commented, I will probably miss it. Love the stream, though. Thank you, Lance 737. Shrapnel says, I know that we are morbid people and we make jokes, but if you don't have humor, I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, it's funny. I was in school when the space shuttle blew up, and there were jokes within minutes. I guess people were, and this was before the
internet. For stress, and it's healthy.
Yeah, this was before the internet, and I guess, well, it wasn't like, formal jokes structured, but some people were sort of like kidding around about it while other kids were horrified. And it was a mixture. And we were assembling into health class when we found out about it. I heard about it in the hallway 2 health class. And then the teacher came in, and some of the kids felt ashamed because they heard, they knew that she heard them giggling or whatever. And then she told us about what you were just saying.
It's normal. It's completely normal reaction of our monkey brain. When something is really stressful and scary or ununderstandable, some people bottle. They don't say anything. That's dangerous. Then you have people that they just cry and scream and wail and they run around.
Yeah.
And then you have the ones that do that, but they do it in a productive manner. They tell a joke.
Yeah.
Or they find the silver lining folk. It's like there's always a place to chuckle to release the stress in your brain.
Yeah.
But all it is essentially is their brain screaming at the top of its fucking lungs, and it chose comedy to hit the button instead of just legit scream.
Yeah, I mean, you're in school,
Those are your options. Legitly scream or do
yeah, I mean, you might want to save that for when you're home, maybe, I don't know, but...
Well, I mean, if you can't, it's because your brain just had to do it.
Yeah.
It's like that's how the brain works.
Yeah.
The part that is the conscious you only has so much control over it. The brain will do what it wants. Yeah.
Lars Larson, good to see you with us, says they would take thousands of casualties, so they can't do that. Yeah, if you're talking about the part in the Quran where it says fight in the way of Allah until over the whole of the world Allah, the only religion is for Allah. Yeah, that you can't force everybody to convert, and what are you gonna do? They can't take. So anyway, Sean Drew, evening kids. And then GB in the little letters. I don't know, what does that mean? It says evening kids, and then in smaller letters GB. I don't know what that means or how to do that. Lars Larson, LOL. Prince Arcane, Min Ben Giver, quote, Giver, who oversees the country's police force, told Israel's army radio on Wednesday that, quote, spitting on Christians is not a criminal case, unquote. Not everything is worth imprisonment, unquote, fire. I don't understand. Shrapnel, I read this earlier, but I'll read again. James Wood is awesome.
Yeah.
Daniel says James Wood is awesome. Daniel says, damn it, Shrapnel, you beat me to it. What do you want to say, Tabby?
Well, I'm going to agree. I don't think spitting on somebody should get you prison.
What is this about? Is this about people spitting on Christians in Israel?
So the Palestinians always say things like that in their media version of events. They go, it was a slap on the wrist offense. And then you find out later that it was something a lot worse. And if it legitly is somebody just simply losing their fucking self-control and spitting on another human, which does happen there, I don't believe that should be a prison sentence, personally. I think maybe a small fine for the inconvenience of the person you spit on, maybe something to dissuade you from doing it again, but I don't think prison time. That seems a bit harsh for spitting.
Yeah.
But that's a lot of what you hear in their media version is it was this little thing, and then you finally read into it later on, and it was a hell of a lot bigger than that little thing.
Yeah. Sean Drew says Patrisse, as in Patrisse Cullors, one of the infernal trio there, is mansion buyer general. Yeah, I mean, how many has she bought?
Yeah, that's true. She does have like an unlimited supply of houses.
Yeah.
I don't know what she's planning to do with them all.
She's gonna go into
like some bitches collect shoes.
They're all gonna go into bankruptcy. These three.
That's why she has them, because she has an enormous shoe collection like that one fucking chick, and she needs the storage space, and she doesn't want to keep them in just any old closet, so she bought the closet, and the house just happened to come with the closets.
William Stryker asks, how is Palestine this generation South Africa exactly? Well, it's colonialism and
Well, Well, I'm sure there's
not exactly
some
the-
Muslims in South Africa, but I don't know about
No,
Palestine. You know?
Okay.
I
Now
mean, you guys do branch out with your hate, so there's a chance.
Lars points out that our internet is borked. Yeah, it is.
Yeah,
Sorry.
it is. I just got kicked off my game.
Automated personnel unit. South Africa is nothing like Israel.
No.
Shrapnel says she has eyes like a hammerhead shark. Talking about
yes,
yeah.
yes, glazed over and just looking for something to snarf.
And also too far apart.
Yeah.
And not exactly going in the same direction either.
No, they're kind of turned out and up.
She's high
Or
and
is it just me because I don't like her?
No, it's definitely, yeah, it's observable. An automated personnel unit 3947 adds, she's high and telling lies.
Sure.
Government is the most dangerous superstition, says. So good to see you with us, by the way. Love the name. Government is the most dangerous superstition, yeah.
Yeah.
Says, so you are saying that Jews are not terrorists? Well, I'm not saying that Palestinians are terrorists. I'm saying Hamas members certainly are. I'm also saying that people who subscribe to Islam are, as long as they support it, you know. I mean, if you support an ideology that is a terrorist ideology by definition, you know, there you go.
Yeah, like
now, am I saying that Jews are not terrorists? Yeah, I'm saying Jews are not terrorists. Am I saying that there's no such thing as terrorists or Jews? No, I'm sure there are.
Yeah, I'm sure there are, like out of necessities, much like the Jewish mafia, which sprung up out of necessity. God damn it. Because there was a lot of anti-Jewish hate in that fucking area at the time, and then boom, boom, their own little mob group.
Yeah.
So if, there are Jewish terrorists, gee, I wonder what may have inspired them to become such. What could it be?
Yeah, I don't know. I think I wouldn't be too surprised if there were not radical
Doesn't make it right, but
Zionists who maybe use, I don't know. I mean, I don't really know the history of all that stuff,
Yeah,
but
I don't know.
Fluffering, buffering, slightly less bad, says Lars. Yeah, sorry. Shrapnel says, never forget what Israel did to the USS Freedom. Yeah, I don't know too much about that. I know I learned about that. It was bad, and I think, was that a false flag thing? I forget. Prince Arcane, ISIS, Israeli Secret Intelligence Service. I don't know. Another area I don't really know very well, but I kind of doubt it. Prince Arcane, at Traplin, remember the USS Liberty. Prince Arcane, Susan can't handle the truth. Okay. Shrapnel, I stand corrected, thank you. Okay, so that's why I was confused.
Isn't
Daniel,
that the one who's married to a white guy? That BLM chick? Or is that the other BLM chick?
Susan?
No,
Who?
the fucking white-eyed shark face.
Oh.
Yeah, her. Like, one of those BLM leaders.
Oh, it's
who
married,
takes in
yeah.
a lot of money and says that, white man is the trouble of all the world and all that.
Right.
Is literally married to a white guy. And not just any white guy. He glows in the dark white.
I guess.
Okay, there's no olive tone to this boy. He is so white, he makes snow look yellow.
Yeah.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
So it's like, how? And she's not the only fucking grifter that does that shit too. There's a political one too. I can't remember her name. It's one of those bitches, and they're fucking married to a white guy. It's like, what the fuck?
Now, Demography Now says, thank you for taking a strong stance, even if it is the only stance you're allowed to have. Well, I'm not sure. Did we even take a stance? I mean, we took a stance against BLM, against Marxism.
And I've been saying
and
fuck
against
Palestine
terrorism
since, forever.
Well, yeah, definitely against Palestine, definitely against Hamas, definitely
and that's
against
not because
Islam.
I'm pro-Jew. I'm pro-human.
Yeah.
Okay, so if there's a Jewish person running around being an asshole without any justifiable fucking reason to be an asshole.
Yeah.
And their justifiable reason, if they did have one, was just a concoction of their own fantasy and religious fucking douchebaggery, I'm not going to be on their side. I don't care that they're Jewish. I don't care if they're Christian. I don't care if they're pagan. I don't care what the fuck they are. If you have that kind of mentality of I get to kill you, or I get to own you, or I get to tell you what to fucking do because...
Don't bounce.
Then I'm not going to be on your side in any fight. In Palestine, for as far as I've known, their main charter is we will fight until they're all fucking dead.
Yeah.
So, until you change that and stop, teaching it,
Yeah.
Don't expect me to cry for you.
Yeah.
Don't expect me to feel sorry for you.
Yeah.
Don't expect me to entertain that somehow the other guy is wrong here.
Yeah.
Because literally in your doctrine it says, fuck those guys. We're gonna kill them all.
But at the same
Like,
time,
why would I fucking hear you out until you change that?
yeah.
Fuck you.
But at the same time, we're certainly not like, oh, Israel could do no wrong, because they
Of course not. They're
definitely do
people.
wrong.
They're fucking people and their leaders do horrible fucking shit. I'm not blind. I see them. Fuck that. No, there's no one side here. There is one side. The side with people on it. And then there's two other sides with fucking jackasses on either side of it.
Yeah.
Much like politics. You have the people in the center that are like, oh my god, these morons control too much. And then you have the people on other sides that are going like, my team's a winning, everyone. Like, no one wins in that. No one fucking wins when you start making teams and sides and that one's wrong and this one's right. And it's like, technically, somebody here is the asshole, but let's not fucking decide that anybody who stands with the other side at the moment, there it is. It comes down to being a decent fucking human being in the moment. Not a cultist thing, not a group thing, not a teammate thing. Who got wronged here? Sporadically out of fucking nowhere for no goddamn good reason.
Some
Other than
civilians.
somebody felt like fucking doing it and they happened to live over there.
And by the way, they weren't just Israeli people at a rave. It was,
It was a group. It's a
it was
mix.
there's an international rave scene, and a lot of the good raves are in Israel for some reason. I don't understand, but it just happens. So,
Yeah.
like, I think that girl's leg was snapped may have been from Germany.
Yeah, like there's a lot of people that live there or that go there.
Yeah. Tabby's gonna leave for a few minutes anyway, but maybe we should get into Rat Lives Matter. Rat Lives Matter. Rat Power. Okay. But yeah, those people are bad people, if that's what you mean by rat. It's interesting how we use certain animals to be metaphors in a negative and positive way. Pigs used to mean politicians and police, and then it just became more like just police. Let's see. David Johnson, Rat Lives Matter. Stabby McStabwood. What a name. Love it.
That kind of works with what I was going to say. It's like, I was going to say, if you want to, like, think about it from, a particular point of view that most of us have heard of, is like the choice of Solomon, when he went with the lesser of the two evils. Who wanted to keep the baby alive and who wanted to cut it in half? When it comes to Israel and the Palestine and the Gaza Strip, who wants to kill the baby and who wants to keep it alive? Who's willing to peace and who's willing to blow everything up for the fuck of it?
Right.
Just to win. It's like, this is not a hard decision. They've been feeding us this fucking kind of moral decision since the moment of our birth for most of us. It's like, this is not a group thing. This is just simply what's correct here.
Yeah.
Who's willing to make peace and who's just still kicking shit down and being mean.
Yeah.
That's who you fucking go against. Whoever's just fucking kicking shit down is obviously the guilty one.
Yeah.
And they're happily doing it, and then they're like, why don't we have anything? Well, you keep burning it all!
Alright, now, Stabby McStabwood. It's a tragedy, but I have a hard time feeling bad for people on the other side of the world. I just don't want to fund it. Yeah, oh yeah, by the way, there's that issue. By the way, like, if we're taking stances here, there's some things I take a hard stance against, and that is killing civilians. There's some things I don't really take. I'm not going to go for the binary. Either you're for everything Israel does or you're for everything Palestine. No way. But totally against Islam, totally against terrorism, totally against killing civilians. And then when it comes to whether or not we're going to support the military, no, fuck that.
No.
I don't want the U.S. involved in that.
No, that's not our business. It's not our fucking business. It just isn't. And in fact, if the American government did get involved in there, I would assume that the Bidens were at fault for fucking any of this even happening. Meaning, I would think that they gave Palestine the parachutes, helicopter transport, and weapons to pull it off. I would assume they would. Because why? Our government currently would murder half the planet if it would get them money and more power and secure them forever.
Yep.
Especially when they're in trouble and they want everybody to look the other way.
Yep.
And if they can get themselves in enough active war scenarios, then that decrepit fucking skeleton of a human bag gets to stay there. Because there's a loophole about active war and removing of a president during active war. Tell me they won't try and use that card. They will try and use it. So no, I don't want to participate in any more fucking wars. Unless somebody is directly fucking attacking us, let's stay out of it for once. Let everybody else solve it.
Yeah.
It's their fucking countries. As much as that fucking sounds barbaric, it's their fucking countries. You don't think there's people in other countries when, you know, there's shit in another country going down and their country's like, maybe we should help. And they're like, no! What about the people under the bridges at home? Let's fucking deal with that crisis right now.
Yeah.
Fuck over there. Oh, I'm sorry they're getting blown up. I am so sorry. We have people under bridges. I'm sorry. I gotta go feed the chicken. But it's just, fuck you. Take, you know, my morality is mine. Stop trying to fucking dial tone it to whatever y'all want. That's what the world loves to do. It's like, we're just gonna crank the dial around. It's like, stop. Stop using emotion as a way to get shit out of me. It's annoying. And I think part of my emotions are dead to a degree, so it really doesn't work. At least not on me. It just makes me annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right on. Okay, don't need this. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need... Oops. Sorry. Stick Sax and I were tweeting, headed back to Europe, I shall return. Alright. He is, what do they call that? Binational? Anyway. Daniel here. Duck out and go back to channel. Alright. Don't know what you meant there. Vaush is tweeting the Palestinian flag. Jesus Christ, Vaush. What an asshole. He tweets, by far, the biggest Israeli-Palestinian misinfo I bought for years was that it's morally complicated, quote unquote. Morally speaking, it's cartoonishly uncomplicated. Solving the problem is complicated, but that doesn't mean Israel's government is any less the villain. Okay. Now, let's see. Shall we get into Black Lives Matter in general? Again, what you're seeing is... Let me adjust here. Let me pour some coffee, too. Shush, kitty. What you're seeing is the Black Lives Matter section of the Culture War Encyclopedia. And we're going to get into at least some of this. As it reads in the Culture War Encyclopedia under BLM, according to their website, and you can click on that and see for yourself, BLM was started in 2013 by Patrisse Cullors, Alicia Garza, and Opal Tometi, who, along with their BLM organization, their BLM website, blacklivesmatter.com, and other BLM organizations and groups, and their leaders are openly communist in their ideals, demands, and goals. It seems a bit hypocritical, then, that Patrisse Cullors, for example, has purchased millions of dollars in real estate for herself and others, I think. They have referred to themselves in at least one place as a, quote, black-centered political will and movement building project called Black Lives Matter. And what source is that here? By the way, if I hover over it, it should show you, but sometimes it just doesn't do that. Okay, my server is going to do this. Okay. So you can see it's an archive. So that's from blacklivesmatter.com/herstory. And there's the Infernal 3 right there. All right. Again, they have referred to themselves in at least one place as a, quote, black-centered political will and movement building project called Black Lives Matter, unquote, and as a, quote, member-led global network, unquote, and as well as or as well as, quote, an ideological and political intervention, unquote. In the section called Her Story on BlackLivesMatter.com, they write, quote, in 2013, 3 radical black organizers, Alicia Kazar, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Sermetic, created a black-centered political will and movement-building project called Black Lives Matter. It was in response to the acquittal of Trayvon Martin's murderer, George Zimmerman. And unquote. In a public letter 6 years later, and black activists are still fighting. Again, it's a public letter that is titled 6 years later, and black activists are still fighting. Are you trying to get the kitty? Yeah, you need the squirt bottle. We have a cat that won't quiet down.
He's horny.
Yeah.
Get that you're horny. Work it out for yourself. You hear me? You shut up. You cannot breed her that much. You will make her sick. Deal with life. I could get you fixed. Would you like that?
Yeah. You
I
want
don't
those
think
little
I
balls
know,
snapped?
I would feel really bad, and you're too pretty to do that too. Would you like me to do that? Because we could just call a vet. 5 minutes away.
Here's an
Oh, that's fucked up. I'm threatening the cat with that, but he's driving me nuts.
Yeah. Here's their website, and this was called 6 years later, and black activists are still fighting. And we're not going to read the whole thing. We're going to read this part anyway. Quote, when Trayvon Martin was murdered, and in 2013 when George Zimmerman was acquitted, my body and spirit was moved into action, unquote. Too bad her mind wasn't moved. Or maybe her mind was moved and she realized that she could make a lot of money from people who are upset over this issue and buy herself some expensive houses in rich, mostly white areas. But I digress. She continues, quote, I couldn't imagine how in 2013 a white passing person could kill a young boy. A white passing, look at this guy. How is this guy white passing? This George Zimmerman. A white passing, meaning like, okay, he's not white, but like,
no, he's Hispanic.
If you're
with
an
a
idiot,
Jewish-sounding name, that's what he is. He's Hispanic with a Jewish-sounding name, which could just be accidental.
Yeah, here's my paraphrase. Okay, I know he's not white, but but we like see him as white.
Yeah, that's why CNN, of course, they totally whitewashed his image like they always do when it's somebody who's very, very not white. Yeah. Doing something very, very, very stupid that they want to be attributing to only white people.
Yeah.
And it's like, and then they lose their mind. If they do find some white person who does some shit, they lose their mind. Like, God above has shown the fucking miracle to them. They have solved the equation of life, and this is everything. Yeah. Meanwhile, in Chicago, you have black on black death all the fucking time, where there's brand new born babies catching a bullet to the face, but crickets.
No.
Black lives do not fucking matter to these people because crickets.
Yeah.
For everything that happens when it's black on black, but they will fucking rain fireballs from heaven if one white guy or somebody who's light-skinned enough to possibly pass as white.
Yeah.
They just fucking go crazy.
I mean, that's...
no, fuck your racist ass. You don't give a shit about life. You give a shit about an angle, and that is all.
Those are her words, white passing. So again, she says, bitch. Quote, I couldn't imagine how in 2013 a white passing person could kill a young boy and not be held accountable, unquote. This is the man, she says, is white passing here. And who she also refers to as a, quote, white supremacist, unquote. And that's right here in this document. Let's see. All right, so here, by his fellow white supremacists. So she's saying he is a white supremacist there. And also, okay, so right here. This is where she says that, here you go, George Zimmerman. And I don't want his name, George Zimmerman's name, to be held up over and over again by the media and by his fellow white supremacist, which necessarily means that she's saying he is a white supremacist. Okay? Where was I? What tab? Doink. Okay. I continue. I don't know this man's professed beliefs. But it seems to be a no-brainer that if you are not white, you're not a white supremacist. You might be crazy enough to think you are, but you're not. If you're not white, you're not you're not sane. So you're just babbling. You're just crazy. But perhaps if one could see only in black and white, Zimmerman could be white, I guess, if you just turn up the contrast. The contrast enough. And therefore a white supremacist. But the thing is, a lot of
like a sun-bleached newspaper.
Yeah.
There you go.
In her statement on Black Lives Matter, Patrisse Cullors refers to herself as the co-founder and strategic advisor of Black Lives Matter Global Network. She also states, quote, "I didn't want George Zimmerman to be the period to the story. I didn't want his name to be the name held up over and over again by the media, by his fellow white supremacists. That's why when I saw the phrase Black Lives Matter..."
He's not even white, bitch.
Right. That's why when I saw the phrase...
fucking ass. Not even fucking white. You racist bitch. You just removed a fucking Hispanic or Latino or whatever the fuck he is.
Yeah.
Ethnicity. You just stripped it right the fuck away and turned him into a white man in the blink of an eye because you wanted to.
Yeah.
How is that not racist? Bitch.
Oh, boy. She continues, "That's why when I saw the phrase Black Lives Matter..." So she's, by the way, she's saying that she didn't make up the phrase. She just turned it into an organization.
Oh,
That's
yeah,
why
I'm
when
so
I...
Sure.
That's why when I saw the phrase Black Lives Matter spelled out by Alicia Garza in a love letter towards black people. All right, so this predates...
good lord.
Yeah, so apparently Alicia Garza came up with Black Lives Matter, the phrase, popularized it, then this one came along and they made it into an organization. But anyway, her words are, "That's why when I saw the phrase Black Lives Matter spelled out by Alicia Garza in a love letter towards black people, I decided to put a hashtag on it. Alicia, Opal, and I created hashtag Black Lives Matter as an online community to help combat anti-black racism across the globe. We firmly believed our movement, which would later become an organization, needed to be a contributing voice for black folks and our allies to support changing the material conditions for black people," unquote. There you can see a little bit of the Marxist influence with the phrasing and the vocabulary there, choice of words. In her story, they continue, quote, "The project is now a member-led global network for more than 40 chapters. Our members organize and build local power to intervene in violence sure, inflicted on black communities by state and vigilantes. Black Lives... Wait, you guys are vigilant. Okay. Black Lives Matter is an ideological and political intervention in a world where black lives are systematically and intentionally targeted for demise. It is an affirmation of black folks' humanity, our contributions to this society, and our resilience in the face of deadly oppression. As organizers who work with everyday people, BLM members see and understand significant gaps in movement spaces and leadership. Black liberation movements in this country have created room, space, and leadership mostly for black heterosexual cisgender men, leaving women, queer, and transgender people and others either out of the movement or in the background to move forward with little or no recognition.
I don't know who these people are talking to. Like, this is brain jelly.
I'll tell you who they're talking to,
this
Tabby.
Is shit no one listens to.
I get
you
the...
just fucking goose step to it because if you have a working brain, it turned off and got so fucking bored about a second and a half into that shit.
Right. Okay, here it... Again, I'll refer to, there is a skit by Monty Python in which Karl Marx is a character, and they have him basically repeating either something that is from the Communist Manifesto or maybe something that you would expect to see in the Communist Manifesto, maybe Das Kapital. And he's going to apply to the proletariat and the material conditions of the living working class and the conditions in the...
It's meant to make your brain shut off.
Right, and so that's one thing I have to say. Keep that in mind, okay? Now, the other thing I have to say about this is that I get the impression that the three women at the top of BLM, as well as who they're writing for, okay, they're writing for progressive woke college people. or people who are
Douchebags.
maybe not necessarily just in college, but people want to be in college, people are in college, professors, etc., blah blah blah. And I think they themselves are probably people who went to college because of the color of their skin and not because they knew what they were doing or talking about. And they're writing for people like themselves, and they're also writing for white progressives and Democrats and all that kind of stuff.
Well, they're writing to make the world easier for them to be lazy in.
Yeah, well,
That's the
their
whole point.
That's the point.
That's
yeah.
the point. Because when you're in school and you're being lazy and you're manipulating other people to do your work for you, it's because you're in school. And that's the scenario. But once you're no longer in school and you're still contributing to society with the exact same tactics, this is just you making it about you bettering you.
Yeah.
At the end of the day.
Now we're gonna skip over some of it because, as Tabby's saying, then they go into details about names, and we need not go into their names, but I want that all in the Culture War Encyclopedia. It's important to have all this stuff. But as in this video here, maybe we're gonna skip over some of this too. This part where it says, in 2014, Mike Brown was murdered by Ferguson police officer Darren Wilson. It was a guttural response to be with our people, our family, in support of the brave and courageous, blah, blah, blah. So, that has a thing to do with Black Lives Matter as well. So, okay, Trayvon Martin, Mark Brown. Then we move forward when it comes time to us to leave. Okay, Ferguson, there's that. And then it became clear that we needed to continue organizing and building black power across the country. But see, this way it became just it's a racket. It was a scam.
It's a black power grift. It's no different than somebody seeing that KKK members are complete morons and they will buy rebel flags and other fucking really stupid regalia.
Made in China.
Exactly. And they won't question it. They'll just purchase this fucking third-rate fucking shit from you.
Yeah.
Because they're racist and they're dumb and they just hate the other side, and your shit has something about hating the other side on it, and that's all they goddamn need. This is no different. She's just in there literally grifting to black supremacists using their fucking words to get them to give her money so that she can buy a house for her and her white husband to swim in many, many pools. Yep. While their Hispanic maid and gardener clean and tend the hedges. Because I'll be damned if their help is black or white. It's most definitely Hispanic.
Yeah, so we'll skip past some of the rest of the stuff they wrote there, but it's all there for documentation because this is the Culture War Encyclopedia. And encyclopedias, they're not all interesting. There's a lot of information in there that's maybe boring, but it's important. In a piece for Real Clear Politics, Robert Stilson wrote, quote, yeah.
Sorry, it's just there in the open field. I had to do it.
All right. Quote, but just what is BLM as an organization? Turns out that's a difficult question to answer. And yes, it's a phrase, it's a slogan, it's an organization, it's a bunch, they continue... As covered here, Black Lives Matter can mean something different depending on what part of the movement is being referenced and who is doing the referencing. For instance, when the term is used to show opposition to police brutality or other racially charged issues, it does not necessarily imply a connection with any particular organization. In this sense, it serves more as an expression of one's views rather than affiliations. I mean, we saw right from the start that the Patrisse Cullors chick there was capitalizing on something that was already there. Things that people were saying already. So, yeah, it's not fair to say that every time somebody says Black Lives Matter, they're referring to the organization. It depends on the context. But they did, kidnap it. And at this time... It's kind of like, you can't keep waving a swastika saying, well, it's a Buddhist symbol. It's a Jainist symbol. Unless you're over there in in Cambodia or if you're in India or something like that.
Unless
but,
you paint it above your doorway and then wear a red dot on your fucking head as some ceremonial bullshit.
Right.
I don't buy it. You're using it for the Nazi purpose and you fucking know it, so shut up. Right.
Real Clear Politics continues. For instance, when the term is used to show opposition to... Okay, I already said that. They continue. By the way of an example, Michael Jordan recently released a statement pledging $100 million over 10 years, quote, to organizations dedicated to ensuring racial equality, social justice, and greater access to education, unquote. And he framed that commitment under the umbrella of, quote, Black Lives Matter, unquote. As a result, this was sometimes reported as a $100 million contribution to Black Lives Matter itself. He means the organization. Jordan clearly intends to give in conjunction with broader goals of the Black Lives Matter movement, but he was not specific about which entities would be the recipients, and there are many out there that could fit his description. The unique way that Black Lives Matter straddles the border between decentralized protest movement and an organized nonprofit entity makes this confusion understandable and likely to persist. When Black Lives Matter is used to refer to an organization, it typically means the Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation, BLM Global Network Foundation. This is the central group that traces its beginnings to the, quote, three radical black organizers, Alicia Garza, Patrisse Cullors, and Opal Tometi, unquote, and operates the blacklivesmatter.com website. The group has been a fiscally sponsored project of Thousand Currents, a 501c3 nonprofit, since 2016. What this means is, in practice, is that the organization does not have its own IRS tax-exempt status, but is operating as a quote-unquote project of an organization that does. In the case of, it's a tax shelter. In the case of 501c3 fiscally sponsored projects, this allows for tax-deductible donations. Thousand Currents says on its website that the official name of this Black Lives Matter entity is Black Lives Matter Global Network Foundation Incorporated, which is also the name of the group that has used on recent press releases. Here's why things get tricky. BLM Global Network Foundation also uses the name Black Lives Matter Foundation Incorporated. 2017 tax filings. As reported by BuzzFeed News here, and if you want to see the original, it's here, this confusion has led to some donors to give to organizations they didn't intend to. Whoopsie.
No, that could never happen. No.
Oh, God.
You would think, rich people are smart, right? They would never.
Yeah.
No. Yeah, fuck you.
The Black Lives Matter Foundation, Santa Clarita, and the BLM Network Foundation, quote, have very different stances on police relations, unquote, with the former wanting to, quote, help bring the police and community closer together, unquote, and the later calling for police defunding. Now, that's convenient because people can argue, no, Black Lives Matter have very, they want to work with police relations.
Yeah,
when they're actually referring to the one that is anti-police, and they want you to think, so there's a lot of room for confusion, intentional or otherwise, right there.
Yeah, they want to help work with the cops. They want to help work with getting them the fuck out of their neighborhoods forever.
Yeah.
Because they want to commit crimes and do other fucked up shit, and they don't want anybody stopping them. That's the only reason to say get rid of the cops, is because you are out for no fucking good here.
Yep. Now, we're going to skip over some of the other details about the
different.
confusion of money between these groups, but a lot of money was confused with these groups.
Yeah.
There's also, there's an organization called Movement for Black Lives, which could be confused in there.
Whichever one's going to have a talk about Chicago might be the one you want to listen to.
Yeah.
Just saying. That makes sense.
So there's a lot there. And a lot there in the section, that section of this section of the Culture War Encyclopedia. Now, let's get into a little bit of this. BLM and political ideology. While not all who march and chant Black Lives Matter are so, the founders are communists. In this video interview in 2015, the Real News Network, starting at about 6 minutes and 59 seconds, the BLM co-founder Patrisse Cullors says that BLM has an ideological frame. She says that she and BLM co-founder Alicia Garza, seen here in particular, are quote-unquote trained Marxists and are super versed on sort of ideological theories, unquote. In a 2020 video. Okay, so let's watch. Yeah, let's check this out. Yeah, they typical college.
So y'all asked, and I am ready to answer.
Okay, wait. What did I say? 1 minute? No, 6 minutes and 59. Oh, different video. Okay, wait. In a video, okay, so before I want to get into that, I want to go to here. Wait, where am I here? Nope. Alright, I can get rid of this, get rid of this. Here we go. 6 minutes, 59 seconds. In this video, she will say
a lot of things. The first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists. We are,
in other words, college educated, communist, but college educated.
Oxymoron. Somebody who demands
affirmative
that
action
be brought down, but are in fact a member of the bourgeoisie for having ever even attended college, because to do that is an act of privilege, and to have the privilege to do such an act means that you cannot be of the common working men, and thus are the bourgeois, are you not?
Yeah. So, okay.
Like, you love their fucking goddamn logic because it just destroys them, and they fucking hate that, so they always glaze over it. Like, that's not the part of the book we read, y'all. Like, no, you read that shit.
Too bad. All right, let's check this out again.
I also think that it might, I think of a lot of things. The first thing I think is that we actually do have an ideological frame. Myself and Alicia in particular are trained organizers. We are trained Marxists. We are super versed on sort of ideological theories, and I think that what we really try to do is build a movement that could be utilized by many, many Black folk. We don't necessarily want to be the vanguard of this movement. I think we've tried to put out a political frame that's about centering who we think are the most vulnerable amongst the Black community to really fight for all of our lives.
Yeah, grifting them out of their money.
That's all they did. You didn't help a goddamn single person in any of those communities. The only thing you fucking helped in those communities is to get Walmarts looted, fucking Walgreens burnt to the ground, grocery stores fucking tanked, anything that was useful in those areas. BLM made goddamn sure it was not useful or functional when they fucking left.
Yep.
That's the goddamn truth. You didn't do shit for those fucking communities other than to burn them down. That's what BLM did. That's the only thing they can accredit to their entire fucking existence, is burning down the impoverished neighborhoods Walmarts.
Yeah. Now, this video that is embedded in our BLM section of the Culture Boy Encyclopedia, it is titled, "Am I a Marxist?" And she already gave the answer in the last video, which is yes.
It's like saying, am I stupid? And then you fucking prove that you are. It's like, why did you prove that?
Yeah, and it's a video by Patrisse Cullors. But in that video, hold on, let's wait for the loud vehicle to pass. It's down the hill from us in the valley there. It's like, yeah, the inside of a guitar in this valley. Very resonant. In that video right here called "Am I a Marxist?" That she uploaded to her YouTube channel, Patrisse Cullors inexplicably mocks comments that point out what she admitted in that 2015 interview, that they are Marxist. After laughing off the accusations, she admits that they are true. So she laughs off the accusations and then, okay, so let's see, 1 minute and 23 seconds below. Let's check it out.
Always keep them guessing, I guess.
It's just stupidity galore here.
Like, is she so dumb that she forgets?
Let's just talk about it. Am I a Marxist? I'm a lot of things. I do believe in Marxism. It's a philosophy that I learned really early on in my organizing career. We were taught to learn about the...
I do believe in Marxism, like as a fact, or
I believe it exists.
I understand that it's a thing. So
no, she's saying
it's
she
not like
agrees
it's
with
Santa.
it.
Like, is Marxism to Santa Claus? Some people, they just do not believe it to be a real thing. Like, your fucking way of speech, woman, is beyond third grade.
Yeah.
Just wow. And I'm an airhead sometimes, so wow.
All right, let's check this out.
Like her.
No, she's not a likable person. Okay, here we go.
And I am ready to answer.
Am I a Marxist? Let's get into it. Hey everybody, my name is Patrisse Cullors. I am the co-founder of Black Lives Matter.
I've been calling her Patrisse Cullors because
Cullors.
that's how you actually should pronounce that name.
Not
But
racist.
not,
Like,
I guess not. But okay, maybe
wants to make
maybe somebody
everybody
should tell her
know.
how that name would be pronounced.
Right? Like,
But-
really?
Okay.
We're gonna embrace it. Okay, you embrace what you want to embrace, and you know, if it makes you look like a fucking jackass, I'll just happily hand you that button when you come to fucking realize it.
All right, let's check this out.
So y'all asked, and I am ready to answer. Am I a Marxist? Let's get into it. Hey everybody, my name is Patrisse Cullors. I am the co-founder of Black Lives Matter. I'm also the executive director of the Black Lives Matter Global Network. And welcome to my YouTube channel. We're gonna talk about something that I have been accused of over the last several months. It's been intense at times, it's been hilarious at times, but I feel like I need to set the record straight. Am I a Marxist? I've seen a lot of y'all's comments. In fact, I got them right here. Do not fall for their trick. They're pushing a communist agenda. I'm sorry, this is really funny.
So yeah, again,
Literally
why
what you
is
say
she
you do.
laughing when she is about to, in about 30 seconds, say yes, I am that?
That's how detached her brainstem is from reality.
Yeah.
That she's.
Let's continue.
I'm not
Don't
a communist,
despair.
but I'm a communist.
Yeah, let's continue though.
Okay.
Funny. So despicable how Marxists have infiltrated the civil rights movement and turned it into a monster. She is trying to burn the whole system down. Admitted trained Marxists and Black Lives Matter co-founder Patrisse Cullors sent strongly worded letter to Joe Biden and Kamala Harris, demanding they bow to their Black liberation domestic terror agenda. We warned you this was coming, and now it's here. Patrisse Cullors is a Marxist. All right, y'all. I mean, let's just talk about it. Am I a Marxist? I'm a lot of things. I do believe in Marxism. It's a philosophy that I
Then why were you mocking the comment?
The thing is she's fucking mincing words. She's saying, I do believe in it. But am I one? I do believe in it. The question is, are you one? Do you ascribe to that particular movement in life? Do you think other people should be forced to live that way?
Yeah, right.
Do you believe those aspects? Do you practice it openly when you can?
Yeah.
Do you do these things? If you do, then you are a communist. If you preach
Marxist
that people
communist.
should have to live this way, that makes you a communist.
Yeah.
Makes you a communist mouthpiece.
Yep.
Have you done any of these things? Yes, you stupid bitch. You even yourself in your own fucking voice said you are a trained Marxist.
Yeah. I mean, there
that
you go.
makes you a trained communist. It's not a matter of does it exist as you keep trying to word it. Like,
Yeah.
oh, it's this thing that exists and I believe in its existence.
Right.
That's a cop-out. Just say you are one and fucking own it, you coward. You
Yeah.
grifting piece of racist shit. Fuck you. Even to actual communists, they would be slapping and face-palming because she's so fucking ballless, she can't just come out and admit it. Because she knows it would cut out her fucking bottom line, and that bottom line is green, and it has dead white men's faces on them.
Yeah.
Which is all she cares about at the end of the day. Getting money with white people on it. Because we are just so fucking evil, she has to own us to keep us in her pocket.
Yeah.
That must be it. It's satisfying her internal hate to keep a bunch of white guys locked in her pocket. That's why she has to get the money. And she never gives it anywhere. That's it. That's what it is.
Yep. Let's let her continue.
Bitch.
All right, y'all. I mean, let's just talk about it. Am I a Marxist? I'm a lot of things. I do believe in Marxism. It's a philosophy that I learned really early on in my organizing career. We were taught to learn about the systems that were criticizing capitalism. We were taught to understand why there were philosophies that were criticizing capitalism. I'm working on making sure that people don't suffer. I'm working to make sure people don't go hungry. And these comments that I've received,
By the way, you notice that she, on her own channel, in her own video, added this part where you can see very prominently the "all cops are bastards" sign. So I think she's making it very clear that her BLM, the BLM, is anti-cop.
Burnt down grocery stores in impoverished areas. How the fuck are you gonna open your mouth and say, I'm literally helping people to not starve, and you are the reason a grocery store in an impoverished area, their only grocery store, fucking couple of miles there, burned to the ground?
Yeah.
After it was looted for the electronics, for God's sakes.
Yeah.
They didn't even take the food. They took the fucking doodads and the fucking baubles and the electric crap, and then they burnt it to the fucking ground.
While stepping on loaves of bread.
While chanting BLM, BLM, BLM. While holding signs and wearing your fucking t-shirts and your stupid fucking other goddamn crap.
Yeah.
They did that. They literally burnt down grocery stores in impoverished black neighborhoods, and you're gonna sit here with your grifty fucking bitch mouth and say, I've worked so hard to keep people from starvation. Bitch, you are the reason people had starved. Yeah. You, individually, your fucking fat ugly mouth, your fish-eyed fucking face, you are the reason someone's baby didn't get formula.
Yeah.
Because you took that right out of its mouth by having the building burnt to the fucking ground. And by the way, the next one of you BLM idiots that is running around with a fucking stolen TV or 3 stolen cell phones going, we gotta eat, y'all. Are you really eating plastic? Because there's a lot healthier way to get pork products. I'll let you know, there is a lot easier way to get pork fucking silica into your body. You don't have to consume the phone to get the ham. You know what I'm saying? You can just go to the grocery section of the same store you're currently looting the fuck out of. Yeah, that
get
store.
Some bologna.
You can go right on over to the fucking deli meats, the frozen section. Hell, you can get a whole pig ass for free because you're looting. Remember, you're fucking looting. You can actually go get the whole goddamn ham ass and eat that on the way home because they're pre-fucking cooked. No, you're gonna steal 3 cell phones and a fucking TV and talk about eating. You gotta fence that shit first, bitch.
Everybody must
Don't fucking play with me. Fencing immediate stolen goods is not as easy as you fucking douchebags want to think it is.
Everybody
and so
must
the fucking likelihood of any of those things actually getting resold to anyone other than a fucking drug dealer, 1% chance.
Yeah.
So yeah, don't fuck with me. I know damn well you're not gonna sell most of that. A good portion of that you're gonna try and fucking remake to, you know, you're gonna try and put a card in it that's been bootlegged. You're gonna get caught and get arrested for fucking having stolen it to begin with.
Yeah.
That's the end result. You are not gonna get food with it. Even if you did fucking fence the goods, you would use it on shoes, and we all fucking know you would use it on your goddamn shoes.
Yeah. All right, let's continue.
Which, by the way, there are nice shoes in the hood, but stop spending all your money on fucking shoes. That's stupid.
What?
And I would say that to anybody who spends an entire paycheck on a fucking shoe. 1 shoe, not 2, because it takes 2 paychecks to get both.
Yeah.
Like, good God.
Hey, if you really want to walk around with a status symbol, let it be something that you earn through artistic effort. Like, hey, look at this thing that I wear on top of my head that I spent hours making.
How about this? How about instead of like spending copious amounts of fucking bullshit money on your shoes, how about you save it and you buy a house and you use that as your status symbol?
Yeah.
You have a fucking house. It's bigger. It's better than a pair of shoes, and it's easier to keep clean.
All right, let's move on, though.
It's much better.
All right.
These comments that I've received have been incredibly hurtful. It means that so many people who have listened to people like me inside Black Lives Matter and across other social justice organizations aren't really taking our work very seriously. But I do believe that we can get to a place where there's a socioeconomic system that doesn't oppress some groups of people and only uplifts a few. We can't allow for fear to dictate how we understand what's possible. You want to know a funny fact? Everybody called Dr. Martin Luther King a communist.
That was the terrible
that.
word he was called forever, up until he was assassinated. And now, everybody loves Dr. Martin Luther King. Nobody talks about his work.
Look, it doesn't matter. You're a Marxist. You said you are. That's that.
As being
But by
work
the
that
way-
was terrible or bad. And so our movement, at the core of it, we believe in the liberation of every single human being. What structure will get us there? Not our current one. We can see that right now because of COVID-19. Who's being impacted the most by COVID-19? The poor. Who's being impacted the most by COVID-19?
All right, look, we get the idea. She's Marxist. She tries to laugh it off, and then she says she is. That's the whole point here.
Trying to say, quote, Martin Luther King communist. Yeah, it was an insult.
Yeah, and it's funny.
Not
Speaking of
because
insult,
he was one, it was an insult publicly because of the Red Scare. It was a way to get the public to hate him. It had nothing to do with him. He sure as fuck wasn't a communist. You know what? You know how you can prove that Martin Luther King himself was in fact not a communist? Because in every speech he liked to emphasize hard work. Trial and tribulation and slogging your way through all of that hard work to get to your goal. What do communists not like? Hard work. They want to make things easier for themselves, which only makes the work 5 times harder because they're a bunch of lazy, dumb fucks.
yeah, now speaking of insult, I find it really insulting that she is wearing a Jimi Hendrix t-shirt in that last video. Jimi Hendrix is definitely not a communist, and here he is singing playing his song Freedom. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't you wish, like, when there was some idiot wearing a band tee that you just know the singer would fucking hate them, that the singer could come back to life for just a short time and beat
just
them
slap
to death
them.
with an instrument?
Yeah.
Like, if only Hendrix could come to life and smack her with his guitar, just like a hatchet. Just a few fucking blows. And by the way, I figured out what she meant when she says keeping people from starving. She meant herself. That was my bad. I misunderstood that she was talking purely about her own ass.
Yeah.
And that's why it's actually spread quite a bit. She's gained some hefty weight.
Yeah. And that was a few years ago, too.
Yeah.
All right.
This is why she needs more than one house.
Yeah.
Because she might break the foundation in a few of them.
By the way, I'm pretty sure that the shirt that she was wearing is a bootleg t-shirt, meaning that she was ripping off Al Hendricks, which would be his father or whoever is the heir at this point, who for the sake of the Black and Cherokee Hendricks family, keeps strict copyright control over all merchandising. After admitting yet again that they are Marxists, she says at 1 minute and 50 seconds, what does she say here?
I love how it paused her on a fucking preach-in.
Yeah.
It's like, yep, there it is.
Oh, okay, wait, this is what we saw already.
These comments that I've received have been incredibly hurtful.
Yeah, okay. So she says those accurate comments that she mocked are incredibly hurtful. She then admits that communism has failed every time it has been implemented, and she engages in whataboutism, a tu quoque fallacy, by claiming that capitalism also fails.
How?
But
has it failed?
Yeah, and anyway, she admits that the success of capitalism makes it difficult to convince people to turn from capitalism into communism, which is basically the whole cultural Marxist, post-Marxist way of things. Basically going, okay, well, Marx argued that capitalism will be so bad that the revolution will just burst out everywhere. Then you get Leninism, which is, well, okay, capitalism's not really making it happen fast enough, so we, the elite, college-educated people, have to be a vanguard and lead them. Then you get post-Marxism, also known as cultural Marxism, etc., which is basically saying, well, capitalism is actually making a middle class grow and grow, so there's less and less tension, and it's making it less and less likely there will be a revolution. So we have to turn class tension into some other tension to try to bring about the revolution, which is basically the identity group: white against black, white against Jewish, white against Mexican, men against women, trans against cis, you name it, you know. She So she engages in the tu quoque fallacy, but she then admits that capitalism makes the success of it makes it difficult to convince people to turn from capitalism to communism, which is the starting point of post-Marxism. One might wonder how a person can be that oblivious to her obvious self-contradictions, short of insanity.
No, it's because.
And what about her What about her co-founders? What's that, Debbie?
Communists that think like that.
Yeah.
They know full well what they're doing. They're not stupid. They're not oblivious. They're the same thing as Marx himself. The reason he fucking even wrote that goddamn piece of shit was because he's lazy. People stopped giving him money that were shelling out money for his fucking lavish lifestyle that he wasn't footing the bill on anything of. You know? He's got a wife and kid, and he has no fucking job, and no one wants to give him free money no more. Boom, he writes this goddamn book.
About give me money.
Yes! A manual of how to give him money. So anybody who studies that book is studying it for one goal, and that is to make other people give them their money. That's it. That's all that fucking matters to these fucking Marxist assholes. That's why it always comes down to some rich fucking bitch going off about how you all should understand that I know exactly what needs to be done to free you from your oppressors. Meanwhile, I am one of your oppressors, but don't notice that because I'm giving you an enemy to be angry at right now. And keep in mind, this means that I think you're a fucking moron who's so goddamn stupid that if I gave you something to yell at like a fucking mirror, you'd yell at it. That's communism. That's Marxism. It's the absolute biggest insult to a human mind.
Yeah. BLM co-founder Alicia Garza also inexplicably laughs about people reporting on her communism in a video for The Atlantic starting at 4 minutes and 51 seconds. So if you click on right there, it will take you to this point in this video where she says,
because I was just attacked last week. There were articles that were going all around social media saying that the BLM co-founder had teamed up with a pro-China communist organization. And that essentially in these articles, right, they make me seem like I'm the Wizard of Oz. They make me sound like I'm building some huge empire to take over the world.
I don't know how she gets from Wizard of Oz to that, but there you go.
And I'm chuckling about it because it's ridiculous.
She didn't want to say that she's been equated with the Wicked Witch of
All
the West
right.
without saying it. That's basically
What the fuck does that have to do with building an empire?
Because the Wicked Witch from the stage play Oz
Yeah.
was building sort of like an empire.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. And then, there's the one with the made-for-TV movie called Oz, and again, the evil witch in there, again, is an empire. Then you have the Disney version with, Mila Kunis, who played the Green Witch. Same thing, her sister wanted an empire. So, yeah,
All right.
she's being equated with the Wicked Witch.
Okay.
Or one of the Wicked Witches.
All right, but anyway, it's funny how she complains of being called a commie. In that same video, she makes it clear that she is against the constitutional rights to peaceably assemble,
That makes you a commie.
to gather as a militia, and the right to bear arms, starting at 10 minutes. So if you click on there, you get this.
What does it mean that white militias feel that it is okay to operate in the light of day when fundamentally they're essentially a paramilitary force? They're a vigilante force that this president is not
That's what a militia is.
And what do you think
dog
BLM
whistling.
is running
He's
around
bullhorning and saying,
kill people?
you have a role to play in leading this country. That's what we saw in Kenosha with the 17-year-old child who was driven to a protest by his mother with guns and who ended up killing 2 people who literally just...
Yeah.
Let me see. Kyle Rittenhouse was attacked and shot at first
Yeah.
by a pedophile. A literal pedophile shot at his ass.
Yeah.
And then one caught it to the face when Kyle defended himself. One got shot in the face. The other one got shot in the arm. Should I really fucking care?
Yep.
No, I shouldn't fucking care. I shouldn't
No.
fucking care that 2 assholes who are attacking a child who, by the way, had only committed the only crime child had committed in the eyes of this fucking mob of assholes in the name of BLM was putting out fires that BLM activists and sympathizers had started in the neighborhood. And why?
Yeah.
Why was he there? Because he had friends and family that lived and had businesses in that area.
Right.
He was doing the right thing.
Yeah.
He was doing the American thing, which is to help our societies, to help each other, to fix things, not burn it down because you're having a temper tantrum like a 3-year-old on crack.
Yep. I continue. Communists against constitutional rights and capitalism. How utterly surprising. Opal Tometi, that's the third one, wrote, Black Lives Matter Network denounces U.S. continuing intervention in Venezuela for Venezuela analysis, in which she applies the term, quote, counter-revolutionary, unquote, which is a communist propaganda term for opposition to communist regimes. So if you're against the USSR when it was existing, or the CCP or whatever, you're counter-revolutionary, which is basically saying you're against totalitarianism.
Oh goodness.
Yeah.
It's like
So she applies the term counter-revolutionary to parties that oppose a Venezuelan dictatorship, wherein she objects to calling Hugo Chavez a dictator. Well, he is. And she writes, quote, we stand with the Venezuelan people as they build a revolutionary and popular democracy based on communist power. Their struggle is our own, unquote. Which, as you may know, if you are familiar with this stuff, means that they are in solidarity with a socialist government, or the socialist government of Venezuela. Next section. BLM has a communist agenda. One could fairly describe cultural Marxism as a form of Marxism in which the communist goal is hidden beneath a mask of anti-racism, anti-sexism, and other seemingly innocent and noble causes. A cultural Marxist, for example, might refer to the Western civilization that they want to destroy as cis-heteropatriarchy, for example. And on their website, BLM group M4BL, Movement for Black Lives, uses such culturally Marxist propaganda as, quote, we are intentionally about amplifying the particular experiences of racial, economic, and gender-based state and interpersonal violence that black women, queer, transgender, non-conforming, intersex, and disabled people face. Cis-heteropatriarchy and ableism are central and instrumental to anti-blackness and racial capitalism, racial capitalism, and have been internalized within our communities and movements, unquote. Go ahead.
I'm going to take one from their book.
Yeah.
Ableism is wrong. It
Uh-huh.
is. We should stop enabling these assholes to think it's okay for them to just run around society being such assholes. We should all,
Boy.
as a group, yes, we should stop enabling these assholes. They're like, no, don't let her use the word.
Yeah, too bad, too late. Word.
No, seriously, that's always my motto. It's the same thing that you do with bullies. Whatever weapon they use, you grab it, you turn it right back, and you use it right back on them until they cry and beg you to stop. Then you think about stopping. You don't. I'm not saying stop. I'm saying you think about it.
No.
This is all based on whether or not your soul is worth damning. I don't really fucking care. That's everybody else's percentage. Just saying.
We may not know exactly what they mean by racial capitalism, but we could certainly guess quite fairly that they want the reader to associate capitalism with racism. Let me say that again. We may not know exactly what they mean by racial capitalism, but we could certainly guess quite fairly that they want the reader to associate capitalism with racism. We might gather something from their web pages, such as their preamble, which states, quote, we are committed to uprooting the ableism and cis-heteropatriarchy we have internalized, to transforming the conditions that drive sexual, gender-based, homophobic, transphobic, ableist, and other forms of violence in our communities. While this platform is focused on domestic policies, we know that cis-heteropatriarchy, ableism, exploitive racial capitalism, imperialism, militarism, and white supremacy nationalism our global structures. We move in solidarity with our international family against the ravages of global racial capitalism and anti-black racism. Okay, so that's the only kind of racism you care about. Human-made climate change, Islamophobia, war, and exploitation. Pausing for loud vehicle.
Islamophobia, that's such a fucking bullshit term.
Yeah.
I have no right to be afraid of the thing that says it wants to kill me. Like, wait.
Yeah.
It said it wants to kill me. I think I have the right to be afraid of it.
Yeah, because phobias
Yeah.
imply irrational fears, and there's
Yeah, it's
nothing
like-
irrational about being afraid of that which wants to kill you.
Yeah, like if they're openly saying, yeah, we're gonna probably kill you, and like, then I have the right to be like, okay, well then fuck off.
Right.
That's not a phobia, that's a justified act.
They continue, we demand repair for the harms that have been done to black communities in the form of reparations and targeted long-term investments. We demand political power. Well, too bad. Fuck y'all. We demand political power and community control over the institutions which govern our lives, unquote. Then, well, yeah, it's called voting.
Yeah, but see, they can't get in that way, and they, communists, they don't like hard work. They just don't. So give it to them. Give it to them now. That's what they want, and that's how they act. They stomp their little foot and they go, give it.
Yeah.
God, give it. That's why there's so many Valley kids that swear they're communists. Give it,
Like
God.
like Vaush.
Brian, why you just give me the heritage?
Like Vaush
Yeah.
and his father who blocked me on X.
Exactly. Two little bitches
Yeah.
clustered in their fucking basement crying because somebody dared to
Well, actually,
challenge
they're
the
from
thought.
Beverly Hills, so.
Yeah, same thing.
Anyway,
Beverly Hills places got basements too.
I continue. Then they demand that the cis-hetero patriarchy that is Western civilization. They then demand that cis-hetero patriarchy, Western civilization, quote, end the war on black migrants, unquote, which one might guess means that they demand that the USA allow black migrants to enter the USA without restriction. They furthermore demand, quote, and the use of past criminal history, unquote, whatever that means. And, quote,
don't
and-
look at the fact that they've committed crimes.
I guess,
Like, no,
and
we're
they
doing
demand,
this.
quote, end all jails, prisons, and immigration detention, unquote.
Fuck you. In other words, just let the criminals in.
Yeah, so this is BLM. I mean, a lot of people think, no, that just means, like, stop killing black people. No, it means, like, they want a revolution to kill you.
Yeah, quit being stupid.
Elsewhere
alright?
on their website, they demand, quote, free them all. We demand an immediate release of black people from jails, prisons, and detention centers. Okay. In this movement, we get our... And they, furthermore, later on, in this movement, we get our people out of cages and ensure that they have what they need to be healthy and free. Yeah, let's see how that would work out for you. Just free murderers, rapists, why not? Halt all new sentences. Release all people held on probation. Suspend all immigration arrests, including at-large arrests. Release all detained individuals in jails and detention centers on their own recognizance. Support for transportation, home living stipend, and allowed to health care, as well as funding for food stamped housing vouchers and hotel rooms for those returning home. And suspend all immigration enforcement activities and operations. Department of Homeland Security must suspend deportations, immigration arrests, mass raids, detentions, and enforcements in sensitive locations, whatever that means.
I have an
Unquote.
idea. How about you all just don't break the fucking laws?
Yeah, but
How
that.
about you try that? It's pretty simple, and every child is faced with that fucking conundrum from the moment we're born. Shall I be a good citizen, or shall I break the fucking law for fun?
Yep. On
I
the
didn't
same
know
webpage.
freaking when you got to give them support because they're going home. They're not been fucking caged in a bamboo fucking cage, being poked with shit sticks in an act of wartime. You're acting like they're soldiers of war coming back from being caged unfairly.
Yeah.
Fuck you. They are turds.
Now on the
Leave them
same
there.
On the same webpage, they make the same demands with inexplicable redundancy. I don't know why, weird. They make various other mistakes, contradict themselves all over the place. They demand universal basic income, meaning that those who work support those who don't. They want it for more than just citizens in the USA. They want it, quote, for all people living in the United States, including disabled, undocumented people, as well as currently incarcerated people, unquote. They want to, quote, cancel student debt through an executive order and or congressional auction, unquote. And this is footage that we're not going to show. Let's see, the George Floyd thing. And then, all right. Anyway, we have a lot to cover here. Let's see here. Well, okay, let's try this. Tweet by Brave New Films. The LAPD just released footage of them repeatedly tasing Keenan Anderson. He later died from cardiac arrest. While he was being attacked, he yelled out, "They're trying to George Floyd me." Keenan leaves behind his son, Sincere. Sickening. And that's from lataco.com. One response to the above from a Justin Trouble, gee, I wonder who that is, tweeted, trying to George Floyd him. Oh, so they were trying to stop a dangerous criminal who were later blamed for the death they did not cause, and BLM will riot and kill people in a blind and stupid reaction?
Yeah, because I love how a heart attack from a fentanyl overdose is somehow the cops' fucking fault. That's magic. That's fucking magic. The cops somehow magically made fentanyl kill him.
Yep.
Wow.
And somebody at Real Meowlock tweeted to Brave New Films and the Surfs TV, "This likely comes as a shock to professional false virtue signalists, but we're essentially all being George Floyded at this point." And this response from me to that, "You mean we all hold guns to the heads of pregnant women and do stupid doses of fentanyl and cause our own deaths and inspire riots that result in the ends of black lives like that little girl?" And then Andy No tweets, a quote-unquote cousin of BLM co-founder Patrisse Cullors, the one with the multi-million-dollar homes, died after committing a felony hit and run, trying to steal a car, resisting arrest, and getting tased by LAPD. He tested positive for cocaine. Cullors is calling for the police chief to resign. So there you go. Black Lives Matter is on the side of these kind of people.
Yeah, because it's
who
not
do these
that,
kind of things.
Her family member did, in a coke-filled binge, do a bunch of stupid shit. No. It's not that happened. No. It's that because he's black, the cops fucking singled his activities out. You see, her argument is there are 20 other white guys doing the exact same thing, and cops didn't go for them.
Yep.
It's like, no, you're fucking dumbass genetics, and believe me, it's your fucking genetics, because you're no fucking spring chicken either. You are goddamn stupid. Alright, so it's obviously in the blood. No one make babies with these people. They're fucking morons. Alright,
okay.
The babies will come out with gills.
That's awesome.
Alright, be forewarned. These are dumb humans.
Oh boy.
Because they do really fucking stupid illegal shit, and then they act fucking surprised when people become angered by that.
Yeah.
Not only are they surprised, but they assume the person is angry. Not because they were unjustly treated. No. But because of the color of their fucking skin. No! Your cousin went on a fucking drug-fueled fucking rampage.
Yep.
Got arrested and deserves whatever the fuck happens to him after getting arrested because of what he was doing.
Mm-hmm.
Bottom line, it's not a race thing. It's your fucking genetics are obviously too stupid to survive.
Now, this one is not from one of the three leaders, but a leader of BLM. BLM leader, whites are subhuman genetic defects. Yusra Kogali.
Eat my
I
asshole,
guess.
you sound jealous.
But anyway, she, I think this was, Facebook? I forget. Anyway, this is what she posted. Whiteness is not humanness with an X as the... I'm going to ignore the X's, okay? Whiteness is not humanness. So that's straight up racism.
Yep.
In fact, is two words, but she wrote it as if it's one. In fact, white skin is subhuman. All phenotypes exist within the black family, and white people are No, that's not what the word phenotype means.
And that's not how genetics and I'm sorry. That's not how evolution works, you fucking mouth.
I think she's trying to say all human phenotypes exist within the black family.
Except
Well,
for
she's
white.
not using these words
No,
correctly.
she's not, and she's fucking wrong. In fact, in Africa, an entire race of white people with blonde hair and blue fucking eyes, but African-looking features, kind of Aboriginal looking, were actually spawned in Africa and moved the fuck out of it. Explain to me then how your African ancestral DNA does not encompass white genetics when your fucking landmass quite literally made white people.
Yeah.
Explain it. Make it make sense. You can't make it make sense because you are a fucking black supremacist grifting cunt who probably should be fucking lynched. That way she can have a reason to cry about racism.
Yeah.
Fuck you!
So you have a certain animal, that's a species, and then you have, say, members of that species that are darker or more reddish brown, and others that are maybe lighter and more gray. Those are phenotypes. So black-skinned people, that's a phenotype. Nordic-looking, very light-skinned people is another phenotype. All of the same human variety, actually, of all phenotypes of one variety of one species.
Yeah, dumb bitch.
Anyway,
Dumb fucking bitch.
she continues, white people are a genetic defect of blackness. White people have a higher concentration of enzyme inhibitors that suppress melanin production. They are genetically deficient because melanin is present in the inception of life.
No, it's
Melanin
called
is
evolution,
directly
you
linked.
fucking racist whore. It's called evolution, and if you move to an area that has more cloud coverage than fucking sky, what do you not need? What do you possibly not fucking need if you move into a zone that has nothing but clouds almost 24 fucking 7? What could that be? Oh yeah, darker skin. So of course you wouldn't fucking need that. No! So that's gonna be something that your body fucking slowly gives up over time, genetically through acts of evolution and long periods of time. And I'm stressing the long periods of time because you fucking morons out there keep not understanding that shit does not happen by blinking. Long periods of time take this shit, make it happen.
But she's claiming that melanin is present at the... Okay, she's saying melanin is directly linked to strong bones, strength of the nervous system, strength of senses such as vision and hearing. I guess she can't name all 5.
Well, then
melanin
explain me.
Well.
I glow in the fucking dark and I have the eyes of a goddamn raccoon.
Okay.
And very, very good hearing for
Yeah.
very subtle, small
Tabby has
things
got
that
really
no
good...
one else in the world should hear. I can hear.
Yeah, it's true, man. She's really good at...
But
she's
I'm
sharp.
white as fuck. Remember that. But I shouldn't exist.
Yeah.
Because she just said that I shouldn't exist. Because I should be flawed highly. No, bitch. I'm a human. Hear me fucking roar. And I come in many different colors.
Yeah.
Fuck you racist twat sickle from hell.
She continues that
Actually, hell wouldn't take this creature.
it affects melanin, affects things like intelligence, memory, creativity, which is
Then
all pretty funny.
explain why Africa is such a shithole.
Um,
Explain that. I know. Oh, she's so mean. Explain it. Fucking explain the parts of Africa where white people didn't destroy nothing because they weren't really fucking theirs. Explain why those places still live in huts made of cow dung.
yeah.
You're so fucking smart, right? Because of how dark your skin is. Tell me how the people who live in shit huts, literal shit huts, okay? Blowing air up a cow's ass to get more mud for your fucking roof, shit huts. Tell me how they're so fucking smart when they're so goddamn dark they're almost purple. But their skin color equates to their intelligence level, right? Because that's how it works in your racist brain. No, intelligence is not based on color. Color is literally a trait no different than your eyes or your hair. Do people with brown and black hair, they're fucking 1,000 times smarter than anybody? No! Oh, they can hear and see better than anyone? No!
Yeah.
It's a fucking color, you fucking bone brain. What the hell?
Yeah.
If I shook you, would it make the sounds of a maraca? Because I am convinced all that lives up there are little tiny pebbles.
Yeah. She continues, Melanin enables black skin to capture light and hold it in its memory mode.
No, it refracts it.
Which reveals
refracts it away. That's all. It bounces it off.
Which reveals that blackness converts light into knowledge.
Well, rather, it doesn't bounce it
I
off.
like the
but
mysticism
it allows
there.
It to kind of like slink away
No,
from.
black skin has the magical property of absorbing light and holding it there and turning that light into knowledge somehow.
Yeah, I hope she knows that black people get sunburns too.
Oh,
That's
boy.
a thing, y'all. Oh my god, yeah. Why? Because they still have skin like everybody else. It's just a color to the skin.
Yeah.
My god, it's
Now,
not the answer to life itself. The spark of creation is the spark that makes fucking people dark. No, it's not. That's a decision based on genetics at birth, and it's a crapshoot. You can be black as fuck, both you and your husband, and you might spit out a fucking Caucasian-looking baby because somewhere in one of your all's DNA, somebody was fucking a white guy.
Yeah. Now, in response to what we
Go the
just
other way,
read,
too.
in response to what we just read, the Post-Millennial report on that, their headline for that was, BLM Toronto leader believes white people are subhuman and calls them racist, or calls them genetic defects. Okay.
Yeah, I see a genetic defect.
And I like the
It's
Post-Millennial. I forget who wrote that. Was that Libby Emmons, or was that Andy? No, would that be the other one there? I forget. It doesn't want to load up. But anyway, that is the Post-Millennial headline for that. Toronto Sun, of course, a Canadian source, cowardly reports on it with the headline, Black Lives Matter co-founder appears to label white people as defects. What do you mean it appears to? She made it so freaking clear what she thought.
Sounds like somebody jealous because they're not a product of evolution.
Yeah, but Sam Edwards is the person who wrote that for the Post-Millennial. So Post-Millennial, Sam Edwards pens, BLM Toronto leader believes white people are subhuman and calls them genetic defects for the Post-Millennial, which is the Andy No source there. Libby Emmons also writes for them. Toronto Sun, they say Black Lives Matter co-founder appears to label white people as defects. Well, get a spine, Toronto Sun. So here's the updates that we went over at the top of this. And this cartoon's just freaking awesome because that kind of says it all right there.
Yep.
And so, I don't know. If you folks, I do have to go. I am so freaking hungry. I'm gonna go to the live chat though, and maybe I'll read some. Oh my god, I feel so bad when people comment. I don't read each and every one of them. I gotta go though. I really do. You people.
Complex. Thank you, your tummy.
Yeah, I really gotta go. But thank you everybody. Stabby, Daniel.
I like that. That's actually a nickname of mine. Stabby.
Stabby Tabby. Stabitha Tabitha, yeah.
Not that I've ever stabbed anybody, but I guess people assume that I'm capable. Which I possibly am,
Oh,
but
sure
I
you are.
don't do that.
Yeah, so far.
Which means anything's possible, especially in a moment of panic. Like,
Yeah.
it's possible I might stab somebody. I don't know.
All right, everybody, thank you very much for being with us. I do have to go. I love you all, and thank you very much for being here. I appreciate
He's
it.
going to go fill his tank.